that I had to make before I come here. So that took me a little over the limit, over the time. However, we, as usual, we promised you a very good show, and I invite you to listen, call your friends, and any opportunity you get to call, do so. You don't have to wait for us to open the lines. Those lines are always open. WhatsApp or call us direct. You know the number is the same both ways. So let's get into it because we have a lot to discuss. I will run through the program today, and a lot of what I am going to talk about today is I want to respond to Can I Suspect You? That show. Can I Suspect You? I want to make some revelations for the host and co-host of that show.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Let me just cut in. Foster, what's the name of the show?
Can I Suspect You?
On what?
That's a regular on the Suspect station.
Foster,
Y'all know I am afraid of y'all, so I am coming rough on y'all. Fridges, I'm coming for you.
I am exiting the station right now, guys. I don't know who I am leaving because I suspect Foster is about to launch a war, and I didn't I didn't walk with my protective gears.
So it will be a hot show, people. But feel free to join us at any time. And like I have said, support the programs because a lot of work goes into preparing a show, especially a show of 3 hours long. You have to have content, you have to have material. And if you're calling people, let us, in order to let more people participate, let us limit our calls a bit. The length of our calls, okay? So we want people to participate. So good day, my UWP people all around the island, especially Castrizis, our candidate, Mr. Peter Chico, and the executive, the chairman, canvassers, supporters, sponsors, welcome to another Full Disclosure with me and Angie.
Now, hold on. Foster, you said you were late because you had to make a stop. But Foster, somebody sent me some photos of you. You were not in uniform, but I saw you had some paraphernalia. So that's why you were late, Foster? You were...
Boy, after that, yes, that and other things. After that protest this morning, and it's a personal campaign that I'm on, because I cannot sit by, and this is what I will fully emphasize that in the show today. As a man who have worked in that public service and have served as a policeman for over 45 years, I cannot see what is happening continue. It's up to the people who don't want to say anything, but me as a police officer and who know better,
somebody's trying to call us, Foster.
I will not tolerate that.
Caller, somebody's trying to call. They've called twice already. I'm just noticing the missed call now. Caller, if you're listening, go ahead and give us a call.
Yeah.
Because this person seems eager to speak
to
you.
We'll take the call anytime it comes.
Yeah.
Especially if it's from the people that I'm expecting to call. Over the weekend, Angie, I spoke to a few ex-servicemen. Not necessarily police officers, but people who know the system. And let me tell you that this cannot continue. All right? So, first let me do a tip, which I normally start with a tip. I want persons
we have that call
to...
right now.
It's coming?
Okay, yes, it's in. Good afternoon to you. Good evening to you, caller. You are on the air.
Good afternoon, Angie. How are you doing?
Hello?
Angie, is there any guardrails anymore going on?
Caller, are you talking about on the roads?
No,
Uh,
guardrails, guardrails. Who is guarding the money or the country's money? If the money is originated from organizations like the city and Taiwan,
mhm.
the board of directors who is solely responsible for the administering of this fund, is that falling under that minister's portfolio? Who is the minister responsible for this SSDF fund?
Well,
Under which
the ministers
ministry is this?
responsible for the SSDF are, well, they are supposed to be the Minister of Finance, which is the Prime Minister, and the Minister of Equity, which is Miss Emma Hippolyte.
Oh, okay.
Now I understood he took full.
So that is a finance. That falls under finance.
Yes.
So it's supposed to be there's supposed to be a board. But I'm speaking from an accounting standpoint or from an auditing standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Who is the auditor? I mean, I don't know if this is a government department.
It is
or
a
if there is a government
it's supposed to
department.
be a statutory body under the auspices or the purview of the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Equity. Supposed to be.
Okay, so how does the housing minister infiltrate his way into this department, into this division? First and foremost, so who are the auditors that are in charge? Is it supposed to be like Pricewaterhouse, or I don't know how many other auditing company they have over there? Because I don't know if the government department has an auditing body that is in sync with what's going on, that's not saying anything, or is it Pricewaterhouse or another outside private
To be
sector
honest,
institution?
to be honest, caller, we do not have that information. That
And we
information,
will never have it.
Although
we will
Mr.
never
Pierce
have
said,
it.
the Prime Minister said recently, caller, that there is a shortage of auditors. That's why the CIP audit is not audited. You
it's
recall
not.
that?
Yeah, he said it's not complete because there is a shortage of auditors on the island. But I don't recall there ever being a shortage of auditors
I
before.
have never heard of a shortage of auditors. This is just something that they say inconveniently. First and foremost, when something like that can be blown out of such proportion, there are several different institutions that should be responsible for this. First and foremost, if this is being administered from the Ministry of Finance standpoint, the Minister for Finance, that's his job, because he's supposed to be wearing many hats, and if he's supposed to have like an auxiliary branch or a separate body, which this SSDF is supposed to be. You see, these things don't always happen, and I'm speaking from an auditing standpoint. As a former auditor myself, when you see things like that, they don't just come around overnight. These things have been brewing, boiling, and eventually they just,
erupts.
But from what I am seeing is that they have other people involved in this. Okay, they have other people involved in this because when you leave your guards down, okay, you are actually blessing this directly or indirectly. So this in and of itself is a real sin, okay, for the Ministry of Finance, for the government, and for the board of directors. Because, Angie, this is not the first time these people do things like this. Because Inspector Chico, you remember back in the day, you know what, I better don't say nothing. But this is not the first time these people using government funds, to facilitate the
Caller, were you going to say about NCA? That's on the public record, you can say it.
Yeah, I mean,
NCA, they were stealing money from the government, paying workers of a private restaurant with government checks, just like SSDF. You can say it.
Well,
I have the report home.
No, no, but what I'm saying, well, they have this one, but then you remember, that was between the 79-82 drama. That's not the first time they're using government funds to facilitate their personal issues. number one. And number two, when you have lawyers who are singing for their supper, they know why. That's
Yeah.
why I've always said the the legal community sold their soul to the Labour Party also. Their loyalty is to the Labour Party and not to defending the law.
No,
Because
yes.
you cannot tell me something of that nature can happen. And the Prime Minister has not addressed in any way, form, or fashion. And correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't know of everything that is happening. When back in the day, Inspector Chico and Angie, I'm certain you guys remember, if Alan Chasney was going to be on the air to make an announcement about anything, somewhere, somehow, Philip J. Pierre and his people, they would be briefed and they would find a way to beat him to it, to
Yes.
come up with something, dig some dirt,
Yes.
just to be able to maintain their
A momentum.
hate train, to
Yes.
keep their hate going, and to confuse the people and to be able to give all these half truths and everything in between. But today it is incumbent upon him as the leader of the party, the prime minister. Today he is silent. You look at his reaction towards the Al Jazeera reporter, and he didn't have his press secretary to cut off the reporters like they always do. He did not have nobody there to defend him. You realize how agitated he got? You realize how this man was so infuriated. I was like, huh? Is that how a world leader behaving? And you have other world
Caller, so
leaders
who
sitting
cut the
down there
mic?
and they are
Who
so.
cut the mic? Isn't it?
Somebody cut the
Because it was a
reporter's mic,
female.
you
She
know.
said his mic is cut. I have cut his mic. Who? Isn't that his
They
people?
cut his mic.
Yeah.
Wow.
The Al Jazeera reporter, yeah.
To me, it sounds like the same person who always intervenes when he's in trouble.
It is a sad state of affairs, and when we look at the financial principles, okay, that are at play right now, I don't know. I know GAP supposed to be what they're supposed to go by, I'm thinking, and auditing standards also, but all these things have been violated, all because people have let their guards down, and but it has become more like an association. It's like a ring, and no, we cannot continue being silent simply because thieves are infiltrating their way with the government system, and you have a party and a people that are still defending this kind of behavior only because of their loyalty to the party. But I can tell you one thing. To all those who were ready to crucify Guy, these days they ain't talking, huh?
Everybody is
I
silent.
notice there is a
Everybody is
big
silent,
kind
caller.
of blanket over the country. A silence of silence. From the usual noisemakers, you know their name?
Well,
No, they all took them
I did
appeal.
hear one of them. I was listening to Newsmaker Live some time ago. What's his name? Titus Previll was on. And could you imagine a well-known, I think Timothy Polio dubbed him the defuncto or de facto press secretary. And this man couldn't find anything to say to defend what was going on, so he started talking about gas prices in Martinique.
But these days, Jean-Marie is quiet about the gas prices. He ain't saying nothing, huh?
Oh,
Oh, Lord.
But you see, this is corruption on. There's something we say around here, black on black crime. This is corruption upon corruption crime, and everyone. Thank you. Everyone has revert to being silent. Number one, and number two, if we're going to be a country with democratic norms governed by the constitution, I would think we have a constitution. So who are these people loyal to? Is it staying in power? Is it maintaining their financial position? Are they using the people of the country so they could stay in power? Is it power or is it a combination? I cannot really put a finger on it and say this is why they're behaving that way. But we as a nation need to open our eyes and realize these people, they are not for the people that put them in. You see this putting people first nonsense that Philip J. came in at the beginning with. There is no such thing like putting the people first. Because I remember when he said that nonsense at a CPAC meeting, the man was looking at him like, what? Putting the people first? What nonsense is that? Because you see, these people, they always come up with some kind of slogan that really makes no sense. And people keep gravitating towards this particular slogan. And in the end, it becomes like a poison pill. Anyway,
Well, he said
I guess I have
he told his people put themselves first, because that saying that put the country first. He said, put
an
yourself
hour.
first.
He said exactly that
Yeah,
hour.
he
Put your
went back.
foot
He went
put the
back
people
on that
first
and he
hour.
said
You put
he
your
put
yourself
himself
first.
first.
You see? Yeah.
So
He
this man is
speaks
a
from
fake.
both corners of his mouth and he does not remember exactly what he says the first time. So that's the
Yes,
problem. You
yes,
see, one thing I have always said, if you speak the truth, you never have to try and
yes. Remember
bend the
what you
truth
say.
because you
Yes,
spoke the truth the first time.
right.
So in the meantime, I will allow somebody else to make a contribution. So
Yeah.
talk to you guys later.
Thank you, caller.
Thank you so
very
much for that, caller.
Cool.
Wonderful contribution. Thank you.
Yes.
And caller, you know what?
You all have it.
We might need you to come home and do some audits soon because we have a shortage of auditors. So I hope you have a go bag ready.
No, I probably will be in a body bag before the audit is over, baby. I'm not putting myself in harm's way.
Thank you for that,
Thank you,
caller.
Yeah.
caller. Thank you.
It's too much corruption
Let me tell you.
to
To
talk
do
to
it.
you guys later.
All
Thank
right,
you.
bye bye.
Yeah,
Well,
well, you see, it's
inquiring
very
minds
nice
want
that
to know.
people, professionals, can call
Yeah,
in and
yeah.
speak on the issue, Angie, because
And they give us
and
some insight.
yeah, because they cannot understand, and those people are from outside,
Mm-hmm.
and they cannot understand why we are silent about what is going on. You know, whole auditing out the finances of the country is in a serious bind.
You know what I've noticed?
You know,
I was thinking about it, Foster, and I realized that Wasco, you know how they say the Wasco pipes are leaking? I suspect these pipes piping money from
the
the
money that the pipe money.
economic fund
Mhm.
to the different institutions, and these pipes are springing leaks all over the place because money leaking from SSDF, money leaking from St. Jude's, money leaking from CSA. Everywhere you turn, there's a
Yes,
leak.
yeah, man, yeah. Boy, I must find out where they run in those pipes for me to go and intercept that.
You wouldn't have the heart to do it.
Oh,
You'll pick it up, eh?
let me tell you,
But you know what? You'll bring it back.
everybody else digging and
You
finding
you
the
don't have
pipes.
the heart to do that, Foster. You don't have it in your DNA. You have to have a special chromosome to be able
And
to.
that's could I suspect you do.
So yes, you were saying the name of the show has become "Can I
Could I
Suspect You?"
suspect you?
What?
Because I suspect that apart from them being in their own trouble,
Uh-huh.
they want people to suspect other people. Everything is a blame. It's not them, it's somebody else. But today I want to deal, you see this evening, Angie? I want to send out a message. And I have to correct a clip. Although I've said it on this program before. But I want to say it again because you see, the same way they repeating their lies.
You have to repeat
You
the
have to
truth.
repeat the truth.
Yeah.
Okay, even somebody threw that in my face this weekend. And I told him, but I've spoken about that, but that showed me that I need to speak about it again. Because even the people who I believe who are smart are not getting the message.
Foster, you would be surprised. Let me just tell you, you'd be surprised how foolish and I found out this weekend how foolish and stupid solutions can be. And I was so amazed. So I posted a picture of myself and my person on my Facebook page. And then a few moments later, people started messaging me, hours later messaging me, telling me congratulations, my phone ringing off the hook, people calling me. And I'm confounded, kerfuffled, and quite confused because I'm wondering, well, what's all of that? So only to find out, look at that, eh? A poster saying a baby announcement with this picture that was taken from my Facebook page. And it was a very well done poster. But the poster was posted on somebody's page. I don't know the person. I've never met the individual. I don't know who they are. And you could clearly see the headline saying AI content, right? Announcing that I was having a baby. And everybody, and could you imagine somebody called me and said to me, how I seen you having a baby when I know you cannot have children? But congratulations anyway. And that pissed me off.
That's what our smart.
That pissed me off because if you know that there's no way that can happen, you know that, you still saw that.
The people know the science.
If something like that could have happened, if something like that was happening, Foster, wouldn't the post come from me? Wouldn't it be on my status? Wouldn't it be on my page? Wouldn't I be the one posting it? You see it coming from somebody that you're my personal friend. But a post like that is circulating on a Labour Party operative's page, emanating from a Labour Party operative. But you believe it because Labour says so. Now, I said to that person...
You know, that's the problem with social...
And listen, a number of people messaged me and say, but that cannot be right? And then but for somebody who knows me personally, and I said to that person, as of today, you and I are no longer friends. You're too stupid. I can't have stupid people like you in my circle. You have to go. You understand? Somebody messaged me all the way from China to ask me if their baby need anything, let me know because I coming down on Friday. What kind of nonsense? I say, you see how your people stupid?
Angie, they cannot decipher. Usually people don't read.
But the thing says AI content.
Angie, they cannot read. You don't think take that serious. A lot of people cannot read, you know.
Well,
I made a poster.
Foster, let me tell you something. Today, you see, as of today, nobody that can read can be my friend.
I had a poster carrying today. And you know the number of people who came standing in front of me.
And couldn't read what you had?
And couldn't pronounce one word on the poster.
Our people have become foolish and brainless and just an embarrassment to our ancestors. It hurts me to say that. Honestly, my heart is breaking because don't tell me. And let me tell you, I quarreled with one of my friends so much last night because I said to him, you are my personal friend. If something like this had to happen, wouldn't I send it to you first? But because you see it on a Labour operative, if something like that had to be announced, wouldn't it come from me? I say, so if it was something saying that I was involved in criminal activity, you would believe it and spread it before you check with me.
You see, when your friend, if the person is your friend, Angie.
That's how you know who your friends are, you know.
The person should not call you and come and add to the speculation. The person should call you and tell you that's why I have a
what kind of nonsense is that? And I mean, I saw it, and then there's this family group. So I went in the family group and I said, there's this post going around, it's not true. And everybody was like, but why are you defending this?
That's our people.
Why are
That's
you?
our people.
My
That's
family
our
was like,
people.
why are you even defending this? We know that's nonsense. Because if somebody had to say that, and everybody in my family knows I'm a very private person when it comes to that, I will tell them things. But I'm saying, look at how dumb a simple thing like that. And I find these labor operatives really have time. So you think if I having a baby, people will forget Richard Frederick used the SSDF checks to fund his extracurricular activities?
We must understand that the people who post do those things. Some of them are at home in their little chamber, and they get paid.
I think so.
They don't leave their homes, but they get a regular check.
You know,
And they're operatives of this government.
do you think they're getting those checks from the SSDF?
I don't know where, but I know they're getting paid. Some of them you have nowhere. You could never say you see them leave their home on doing any meaningful work. But those people are doing good. They have their wallet, they have wallet FIC, they have their car driving. And you know they are operatives because you see them in different circles. You know they are, you know. But Angie, that is why that show I tell you today, I am going to go down and undo some of those people who are spreading all that misinformation. And I have, whether it's threats, whether they're trying to make other people other suspects, I have a number of clips that we're going to run, but after I do that tip, because it's very important. So I'm starting off with the tip for the day. Last week I gave a tip. I started on safety in light of the incident we had, the boating incident. Last week on Angie, last weekend.
I think the people on the boats heard you, but those on the road.
Boy, I will say something again, and it has to do with your right, being impaired, driving whilst impaired, whether it's through drug or sleep, and especially sleep, Angie. And I'm not relating that to any particular scenario. I'm just on the same line of safety. Falling asleep whilst driving is just as bad as driving drunk or under the influence, Angie. Because let me tell you, it has happened to me already when you see you driving and you're tired. And
Yeah.
you believe you're not far from your home. You'll make it, Angie. Once I almost had a situation, a bad accident, driving a police vehicle. And that was after Jazz taking everybody home at 3 o'clock in the morning and coming back to police headquarters alone on the police van. And there I saw a corner, when I got to Jeremy Street, near its junction with Bridge Street, to make a left turn onto Bridge Street. Angie, I saw the corner and I cannot remember turning that corner. For police vehicle.
Bridge Street?
Bridge Street in town.
I got us somewhere far.
In the city. Angie, you know what woke me up? The bump when the vehicle went over the humps
on the sidewalk.
And you know when I opened my eye, you know what I saw? The vehicle was driving along the show windows of Clarkson Company and
Jesus.
Angie, I never realized that I fell asleep in that little corner there, in that little turn. Let me tell you, when that happened, when I recovered from that, boy, I parked that vehicle just when I went over the bridge. I parked on the side there in front of traffic. I locked the vehicle and I walked to my vehicle. I drive up to my home. And the following day, at the following work day, I told my supervisor, you see that business of I driving the whole night and then drop persons at their homes and then drive to my home alone, drive back to Castries alone. I'm not doing that again. let the night shift persons do that driving because they come in to work at 11 p.m. till 7 a.m. They are fresh. And believe me, that was the last time that happened because I say I'm not doing that again.
Yeah, I can
All right?
imagine.
So that is to show you people how serious it can be when you're driving and you want to slip and you believe you're just going 2 corners to your home, you will have to make it. You may never get there. So, but I also want to tell you that you must know your rights as a passenger on a vehicle or even as a driver if you are involved in a collision. Angie, a lot of people, and I have seen it from my experience as a traffic accident investigator, when you are a driver of a vehicle involved in an accident, and let us say somebody's badly injured, your passengers are badly injured, or it can be your private vehicle, you give somebody a ride going up the road or down the road, Angie, through the kindness of your heart,
Yeah.
and you have a mishap and the person gets hurt. That person expects you, if they have to do a scan
You have to
at
scan, you
Tapio,
have to pay.
you must pay $7,000. So for giving the person a ride, Angie, listen to that well, listeners. For giving the person a ride to town, you don't know you're going to have an accident. It happens. But that person feel and their family feel that you break Angie leg, you're supposed to stay at the hospital with Angie tonight. You're supposed to give them pay a scan or MRI for. You're supposed to go and buy Kentucky for her because she's going to do overnight at the hospital. You're supposed to call your wife or call your daughter or call your family home to prepare breakfast for you to take for her tomorrow morning. Now think of it, Angie. If you're that driver, what do you expect to do? What are your expectations or what is your responsibility to that person?
I mean, of course, I would be concerned. I
Yes.
mean, if I'm the one who, I was the driver, so basically, you were on my vehicle, I'd be concerned about you. I want to make sure you're okay. I will
Yes.
check on you.
Yes.
But if I can afford, or if the insurance is going to pay, then I mean, yeah, all well and good.
You
But
pay the scan and the
yeah,
MRIs.
yeah, because I know the insurance is going to give my money back. But if I don't have that kind of insurance and my pocket not so deep,
Well, I support what you say too, but I would say the main responsibility as the driver being on the road beforehand is to ensure that you're covered by
Yeah.
insurance, Sanji. Now, why I brought up my experience is that because as a traffic accident investigator, I've heard people have asked me, but the driver is supposed to take me to hospital and pay my scan, and I tell them, but who told you that?
yeah,
Who told you that? Suppose the man doesn't have money. The man gives you a ride, Angie. The man gives you a ride. Especially the guys who hop people vans when they pass in, Angie. There was a particular case where a man is going up the road with his pickup van. A guy hops the van. The man didn't even know the man was on his van, you know. But when the man got to a corner, it was the roadway was wet. He skidded. The fella was not holding properly. He slid off the van, and he got injured. He fell and he got injured. Next morning, well, when the man heard the noise and he stopped, then he took the guy to hospital. Next morning, the man's sister is coming to the driver's house.
to
Telling
ask for
him that,
financial assistance.
but you injure the man and the man is at hospital, so the man has to do a scan, the man has a fracture.
Wow.
She came to collect the money to take care of her brother. Yeah?
She came to collect the money.
The money. Because apparently the guy told her.
The guy had money holding for them. I don't understand the wording. She came to collect the money.
So Angie, you have not heard. You have not heard all. You have not
There's
heard
more.
all. The kind of fathers if somebody dies, Angie. Fathers if somebody dies on your vehicle. It was not.
We'll have to pay funeral benefits. We'll have to pay survivors
Angie, I'm
benefits
telling
too.
you what I have been exposed to as a traffic man. And I did that for 18 years, so I'm telling you all the different scenarios, what people actually feel. Even when you hit a pedestrian and the pedestrian is at fault. Because in accident investigation is the cause of the accident you're looking at.
Right.
The accident can be caused by the driver. The accident can be caused by other parties outside of his vehicle. So not because you get injured that the driver has to pay your funeral, the driver has to pay your... If the driver is wrong, Angie, and he has insurance, hopefully the victim can make all his claims after because you have an insurance to make
Claims too, right.
too. But a lot of people have the misconception that the driver ought to go to the ATM immediately
And just
make
find
trips
money.
and get money to bring to the hospital and take care of you.
Do they understand that you have to have money in the ATM for you to take it out, for you to
Yes.
get?
If you don't have money, you can make the man go and take money, people's money.
Because I had to explain that to my nephew one time because my nephew said, Auntie, but every time you say in your books you have to go to the ATM. I have no money, I have to go to the ATM. I say, yes, but you have to have money there for you to take. The bank not just giving you money just so.
Yeah, a homeless guy who normally sits at a particular bank step in the boulevard. Once he told me, Gasa, when you come out, give me $5. So I told him, when I came out, he told me, he stretched his hand. I told him I didn't get money. He told me, Gasa, how you come from the ATM and you don't have money? The guy asked me that, I told him, well, if I had there, I would have gotten, but it's not there. So I can't give you. The man is sitting on the step of the ATM at night. So be very careful, people. If you go to the boulevard, you might see that guy I'm talking about. Angie, when you go there next time.
I don't have enough money to bank in the boulevard. The banks in the boulevard are notorious. That's offshore banking that I can't afford that. I don't even have pockets, Foster. But Foster.
Yes.
That's the end of the
that's the
safety
end of the
tip.
clip.
Okay, because I couldn't wait. I was on pins and needles.
You've seen something there that you want.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
So Foster, guys, I hope you all took notes for that safety tip because we're going into other things and I know that's the last thing you all will remember.
Yes.
I hope you all wrote down those safety tips. So Foster, you were involved in protest action.
Yes, from last week to today, up to today.
And you didn't even give me a heads up, Foster. So you don't want me protesting by you. You're afraid somebody going to push you. Because I have a tendency to get pushed when I protest.
Yeah, well, it's a kind of low key, impromptu protest.
So you're just showing up at places.
I took on personally.
Okay.
And I'm not wearing any colors at that thing. It is something I figured that I need to do, and I will continue it. I'll continue it for as long as nonsense continues in this country. And I plan to do it every day.
Wow.
Every day I'm going somewhere. So those who have not seen me will see me, because I will not be intimidated by anybody in St. Lucia, all right, to prevent me from doing what I'm doing. Nobody, and when I say nobody, Angie, nobody will intimidate me.
I hear you, brother,
so
and
Angie,
I second that in motion.
Angie, we have 7 clips. Now,
yes.
I want to run them one, and then we'll comment on each one. Some of them are long, so I will give you an indication Once the gist of it is got, we get it, we are going to cut it, and then we'll
But some
comment
of,
and
some
then
of
move.
those clips you've sent me, Foster. I mean, I know you have um, a lot of faith in my abilities to get these things playing. But
I send them to you, um, and I have them listed in the order that I want them. So
oh, I think I jumped Wednesday. What day is today, people? I all
today
on
is
Wednesday,
Monday.
we?
Today is Monday.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh, today. Actually, first I only have 2 clips today. I saw clips yesterday.
oh, Angie, I don't know. I thought it would have been easier for you to extract it from your.
You sent them to my phone.
Yes.
Ah!
So it would have been less trouble to dig for it, to get it.
Oh, you sent them through
Yes.
my
So I
phone.
send them on your number.
Okay, all right, all right.
So people, we are going to run, and the meat of the matter is my response to the present situation, and I want to speak to the co-host of Can I Suspect You show, and
Oh, I see them now. I see them now.
I want to make some pronouncements to the present situation that we are investigating. When I say we, I don't mean me as a policeman. I mean we as the St. Lucian public, what we are investigating against the suspect who was in custody on the 2nd of July.
So
No
the
matter
first,
what they try to, how they like to phrase it,
so the first clip you sent me.
it has something to do with a minister speaking about the Guyanese voting disaster.
All right, let's see if we
I,
can.
I want to hear, it's a very, that one is very short. And the vote was not overlooked. It shows you how people lie, how people lying for whatever political reasons.
So okay, so let's play this clip, guys. So this is a Guyanese minister.
The boat was not overloaded by passengers or by cargo. Lie, 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 lie. There was no engine problem or any mechanical problem. Lie, 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 lie. Even the survivors who made videos from the hospital, they're telling you what happened. And it had nothing to do with overload and boat taken in water. It had to do with the tide. Jesus Christ never born. Lie again. Lie, 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 lie. Lie on them. The boat was not overloaded by.
I think we need to.
Repeating.
I think we need to hear that again.
Yeah, that's.
I think we need to understand. Is he saying it looked like Jesus Christ never born?
Yeah, because the guy is lying so much. Passengers or by cargo? Lie, 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 lie. There was no engine problem or any mechanical problem. Lie, 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 lie. Even the survivors who made videos from the hospital, they're telling you what happened. And it had nothing to do with overload and boat taken in water. It had to do with the tide. Jesus Christ never born. Lie again. Lie, 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 lie. Lie on them. The boat was okay. So people, I believe he's an MP. This guy is an MP. Hold on, Angie.
Mm-hmm.
This guy is an MP, and he spoke the day following the disaster, the Guyanese boat disaster. And he was speaking to a gathering, family members, and so on and so on. And this is what he said. But a few days into the investigation, this man came back and he totally reversed everything he had said there. And it just goes to show what a politician can do and say. They're not waiting for facts. They don't know nothing about what they... It's just like the minister, our local minister, talking about horses. The man want to take his pet to Grenada. She has no idea what she's talking about, but just because she win an election, she
She
believes
feels she has the right to
has
speak.
a right to come and talk foolishness and make herself look more stupid than she already is. So I played that clip because it will be very relevant as we go down and talk about more lies by politicians. I give you clip number 2, Angie, on a statement made by, I heard you play it earlier on Fergis, by Fergis, which is a co-host of Can I Suspect You?
Oh,
It's in that order. You have it?
I have it right here. Oops.
All right.
Oops.
So we'll listen to that one. That's the man who's co-hosting Can I Suspect
No, there's
You?
another clip here, you know.
No, there are 2 with him.
Okay, so play the first one.
The first one, where he's in with a red shirt on him. And we'll go into the background of...
From Mr. Frage's point of view, taking into consideration all that Sir John had done for Mr. King, including handpicking him to take control of the country's affairs after the veteran leader fell ill, Mr. King has acted ungratefully. As far as Mr. Frages is concerned, the reason why Mr. King had been chosen in the first place was because he had been considered trustworthy by Sir John, but as it turned out, according to Mr. Frages, that trust was unfounded.
But we have our very own Julius Caesar going on right here in St. Lucia. And Julius Caesar, for our part in St. Lucia, would be the late Sir John Compton. And we can bring his whole family in as Julius Caesar. And Decimus Brutus, the one who pushed that knife in the back of Sir John Compton, is none other than the Prime Minister of this country, Stephenson King.
Mr. Frages feels that Mr. King, out of appreciation for what Sir John had done for him, should have taken Mrs. Jeanine Compton Antoine, the daughter of Sir John, under his wings, but instead he treated her with scant respect.
You would have thought that the coming into politics of Jeanine Compton would have been welcomed by Stephenson King. You would have thought that. You would have thought that Stephenson King would have taken Jeanine under his wings. And, well, I don't know if he could have taught her anything anyway. But I believe Stephenson King has occupied a position in there for a long time and has learned absolutely nothing. You watch his behavior in there and you can see that he has picked up nothing about parliamentary procedure. Right? But at any rate, I am saying you would have thought that Stephenson King would have treated Jeanine better. Because Jeanine is the daughter of this person who has done so much for you.
Just recently, Mrs. Antoine resigned membership with the United Workers' Party. For the DBS News World, I am Don Nicholas reporting.
Now let's comment on Fergis in that statement. There. You think Fergis will say that today, Angie? What do you think? The same Fergis, the same man. You think he'll say that?
Foster, based on the clip I played earlier from this same man, I think some of these politicians, when they are making statements, I don't think they think, you know. I'll tell you why. And we're talking about Mr. Frages. Mr. Frages back in 2021 was one of the biggest voices against Richard Frederick in government.
Yes, the keeps coming. We're going to deal with him.
He was the one that was talking about fairness and, you know, integrity and all that kind of thing, accountability. Last Thursday, I didn't listen to him, but I heard a clip by a commentator who was asking some questions about Mr. Frages. And I personally had to ask these same questions. You came to us and you told us all the things that you could fix. And all in a sudden, the shoe is on the other foot. And all the things that needed fixing, they no longer need fixing. All the things we were not supposed to accept, we now need to accept. Because you say so.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't understand.
Well,
is it that the politicians,
the Fergis tonight.
Yeah, is it that the politicians have amnesia?
Those guys have no those guys, the old people say something, you know. Si buksa bani lamiti, you bani lam. Because they change their words, they change their positions just like they change in underwear. Si buksa bani PS integrity. I'm born kiddie. Tell me about Richard. Let's play the other clip. There's another clip. We come into Fridges.
Oh yeah, before we say that, you know, I must
You pani lamb.
I must admit that I will always have a high level of respect for former Prime Minister Dr. Kenny Anthony. Because Dr. Kenny Anthony, I think, is the only politician apart from Sir John who I've seen stand by his word.
And he on his exit from the Labour Party, he said that he told Philippian them about for 15 years he have been telling them about that situation will come to head.
He said to them,
said that and they were not
he
listening.
actually said that they are now learning what I learned
Do you have that
15
clip
years
close?
ago. No, it's
We'll
not
try
close.
to get it. We'll try to get it if we have time, Angie.
But
it's very important that Kenny Anthony himself is saying what Fridges refused to understand by when he talk his nonsense on that program there. Let's go to the third clip.
Okay,
Angie.
here's the third clip. I have it right here queued up.
You are all willing to compromise and tarnish every St. Lucian's reputation for the actions of one UWP candidate. Prime Minister King has never managed to keep the nation ahead of his own political survival. Not once. This UWP government is now officially forcing all of us to accept it as truly unacceptable. The good people of St. Lucia cannot and will not accept this. The St. Lucia Labour Party cannot and will not accept this. Call elections and let the people's voices be heard. Okay.
Let's
You are
listen
all
again.
willing
Yeah,
to
let's
compromise
hear.
and tarnish every St. Lucian reputation for the actions of one UWP.
Listen to that caller, listeners.
Prime Minister King has never managed to put the good of the nation ahead of his own political survival. Not once. This UWP government is now officially forcing all of us to accept what is truly unacceptable. The good people of St. Lucia cannot and will not accept this. The St. Lucia Labour Party cannot and will not accept this. Call elections and let the people's voices be heard.
Okay.
Sorry.
So, Angie,
Yeah.
your comment on it first.
But it's the same thing.
Same Fridges.
It's, you see, Foster, these people are proving without a shadow of a doubt that they will do anything for power. I heard the Prime Minister make a
Including
statement.
lie.
Not just lie, but I heard the
No,
Prime
lies
Minister
come- so many
make a
things
statement.
accompany lie. Lie is
No, you see,
a
lies,
sin.
lies,
Lie brings
lies.
death, you know.
I think what these people are doing, it has surpassed lying. We have to look for another term for that. I have to go down into the dictionary, Webster's dictionary, and look for another term because lie is too mild a word for what these people are doing. Foster, the Prime Minister made a statement some time ago. I believe it was during the 2021-2025 term. Prime Minister Philip JPS said when he looks at the men in Parliament, he sees a bunch of desperate men desperate men willing to do anything for power. You remember him making that
Yes.
statement?
The man is speaking about himself.
I wish I had the clip. Let me see what direction he was facing. Because he had to have been looking at his own side of the House of Parliament. And that is what I'm seeing here. These men and women, they're willing to do anything. These people are not politicians, Foster. They are, in my mind, political prostitutes. They are willing to, they say power makes strange bedfellows. But these These are in a class of their own. I'm sorry, but when I look at these men, this is what I see. Political prostitutes.
We need the good thing is that we have the opportunity, we have the avenue, Angie, where we can present the people with those clips to show that Fergus is not an old man. He's not amnesia he have. He doesn't have
Dementia?
dementia.
You sure?
Well, probably some people get in an early
Attack.
But the man should not be very much older than me. And recent history, the time in that clip there, the last clip we played,
That was 2011.
Fergus was a member, a candidate, going to be a candidate
For
for
Dennery.
SLP,
For Dennery.
Dennery South. When he made that statement, at the time, the SLP campaign was on Richard Frederick as a drug dealer,
Yes.
a money launderer, a man who have lost his visa, a man who is public enemy number one. This is when Kenny Anthony said the man is the worst thing
To ever happen to St. Lucian politics.
Fergus is the same man who was in the toilet or in the bathroom in Barbados, the same Richard Frederick.
You think maybe he didn't remember he was in the toilet when he was making that statement?
We come into that in the toilet. We come into the toilet part and the bathroom part naked. We come into that. This man and the Labour Party said the worst. They beat Richard, they flogged him, they did him all kind of things. Because Fergus was trying to win his seat, Dennery South. At the time, that was 20 years ago. Fergus didn't have any inkling that he would have been next to the same man, the same alleged criminal, drug dealer, money launderer.
Worst thing to happen to
he was in a
St.
toilet
Lucian
and
politics.
bathroom in Barbados, and he knew him so well that he knew his privates as a public thing.
He knew his privates publicly.
Fergus, I'm coming to you. I'm coming to you. I'm dealing with you because you're conveniently changing your underwear. I think you should wear only brown underwears, you know. you should start wearing it, changing your colors. So you'll flog Richard, you'll beat him, you'll make him. He had no choice but to, because I always say it was never UWP. Monsieur Patégem, I remember Richard Frederick's first appearance on a UWP platform. It was in Mikud. I left Castries and I went down to that meeting, Richard. If you can recall, because I know you're sick in your head. You might not be able to remember. And you said you were never UWP. You said that. That was one of the first things that came out of your mouth on the platform. There is a clip where you saying Wilkie Latcher stop you on Bridge Street. And he tell you why you joined and why you should have joined them instead. And if you, recently he said that, you know, and if you had known what you know now, you would have joined the SLP instead of the UWP. Ou pate jamais flabo garçon. But let me go back to, can I suspect you again? So, Fergus in that campaign, when Fergus, and I must say that, Fergus, I want you to be listening, or I want somebody to tell you that I say it, because it's not the first time I've said it. When Fergus was just about to leave the police force, Fergus got himself in different fracas. One of the fracas he got himself was in a tussle with Mr. Broughton at Chesterfield. He later sued Mr. Broughton, and that matter was thrown out of the court. That was his first defeat before election. Fergus, almost when he was still a police superintendent, just about to leave, the election was upcoming. He opened a constituency office for the Labour Party in Dennery South. That's the road heading to the cemetery, that big corner there. I don't know the street. I'm not from Dennery.
I have family there.
My cousin confronted him, who was a police officer too. Tell him, Gasa, how you have a constituency office already open and you're a police superintendent? But you see, when they're going up for SLB, they can do those things. A UWP, and they're accusing people who are supporting UWPs for all kind of falsehood, and they're doing it openly. So he just washed that under the bridge. The person even challenged Mr. Regis, was the then commissioner. How, if he's who lives in Dennery? C'est pas menti, moi ka menti on le Regis. All three of you are living in Dennery. You had an office for true. My cousins confronted you on it. And when she confronted Regis, the commissioner, Regis said he didn't know about it. Dis-moi menti, hein? Dis-moi moi ka menti. Tell me I'm lying, Regis. Anyway, you ran against the UWP and you lost. God willing. God, praise the Lord. You lost. And so you were not an MP. You were never an MP. And Labour Party lost that election too. So, by then, you were already out of the force, so you were just in the wilderness as an ex-police officer. And I'm going to ask you since you joined the Can I Suspect You show, I want to hear what contribution you think you have, or what have you instilled in the young police officers through that show. What do you think you are doing? If you are helping them, they are learning anything from you, and the suspect number one, because you both claim to have been police officers.
But they actually were, right? They
were, but you know what I mean when I say that. I know you all joined the force, but as to whether your hat was really where it's supposed to be, that's what I'm coming to, because it shows you a pattern. That's why I played the first clip, and I play your clip, and then I'm going to play another clip. I'm going to play another clip about you again, Regis. And then I'm going to ask you 100 questions before the show ends. So, Angie, I think I want clip number 4.
You want clip number 4? Let's get clip.
It's the one with Regis on the last Thursday show,
where he's talking about the
bathroom visits he and Richard did. And the privates were made public.
Let's play that clip. Hold on.
Don't mind all the rumors you're hearing. Richard Frederick told the Prime Minister, given all what's going on and so on, he feels overwhelmed. He needs a little rest. And Richard has taken a few weeks off. The Prime Minister said, fine, take your time off. So Richard has taken time off. I see
2 weeks.
The little gnome from down while talking all kind of foolishness. Richard is just on vacation, people, okay? And AI pics and so on, and nasty pics. You know, Richard has 6 fingers on each hand. Richard, everybody know Richard ni fada, ipan fada, support wizotla. You'll have some guy there, wherever you'll got that head, you'll put there and all kind of mashi and so on, you know. Right? I ain't even going into your more saucy stuff, which is absolute nonsense, right? Because all I can tell you all is, we were at training school together in Barbados. Now in Barbados, you go at training school, everybody you go in the shower, you know, go suit and everything. So everybody sees who has what and what has what and so on, right?
Play that again.
I think we need to play it again.
We need the people to hear the foolishness me talking on a show. That's what ex-police say, people. That's an ex-police. You think the police need to wear margie like that? At a time when the police need all the kind of assistance and ideas because the police are on their knees. That's a superintendent of police. They what he taking the airtime to do, to talk. Nonsense.
Ex-superintendent, please.
Ex-superintendent.
He is no
Papi
longer
show.
a superintendent.
Take an example from my show.
Right? Don't mind all the rumors you're hearing. Richard Frederick told the Prime Minister, given all what's going on and so on, he feels overwhelmed. He needs a little rest. And Richard has taken a few weeks off. The Prime Minister said, fine, take your time off. So Richard has taken time off. I see the little gnome from down Wale talking all kind of foolishness. Richard is just on vacation, people, okay? And AI pics and so on, and nasty pics. You know, Richard has 6 fingers on each hand. Richard, everybody know Richard ni fanda, ipan fanda, support wisotla. You'll have some guy there where you'll got that head, you'll put there and all kind of mashy and so on, you know, right? I ain't even going into your more saucy stuff, which is absolute nonsense, right? Because all I can tell you all is, we were at training school together in Barbados. Now in Barbados, you go at training school, everybody you go in the shower, you know, with suit and everything. So everybody sees who has what and what has what and so on, right?
All right, Oji. Any comments, Oji, before I will have the...
I am afraid to comment. I am afraid to comment. You see how I put my lips together and I... I heard a live about this, and I think I have to second the question that was asked. What exactly is Mr. Fregis trying to confess to us here in St. Lucia? Because that sounds like a confession to me. Somebody's asking, did he pick up the soap in that shower? And the live, listen, my sister made a live, and she said, women cannot even remember an old boyfriend from 5 years ago.
Exactly.
Which I can attest to, because once you turn your back on that, you don't remember nothing again.
Exactly. And the man recollection,
and you remember something that happened when you were in training school
40 years ago.
40 years ago in Barbados. How long did they spend in Barbados? Look at where 6 months in Barbados. But look at where it take place in Barbados. What we know Barbados famous for?
Boy, you know, they say BBBB. There's an acronym BBBBB. I don't even want to say it on the air.
You remember?
To Barbados.
You remember what I remember growing up? They would say when you go to Barbados, you can't bend down, especially if you're a guy. So
the man that says thing here.
What exactly is he trying to confess? Because like I mean that thing had to have he was impacted by Richard's package.
That have to have been on my man's mind
for 40 years.
To remember that,
takes a mighty strong love.
Man might not even remember what he looked like 40 years ago, and you can remember.
Let me tell you. Sometimes I see pictures of myself from 5 years ago, and I say, "Hey, that's how I had my hair that day." I cannot even remember. You telling me you saw something 40 years ago while you were at training school for 6 months. For that entire 6 months, what were you doing?
The most formal.
So what? Okay, you were at training school. Monsieur pas some teacher, no? Ça something ni monsieur toublé.
He seems to be spending most of his time in the showers. The shower, you spend most of your time.
That's why he was training in the shower. Somebody's asking, did he pick up the soap? I'm inclined to ask him if that was the case. Was he cleaning the shower? Did they...
So
what exactly is Mr. Fregis trying to confess
let me
to the
just
people?
tell you something, Fregis. That bathroom, that shower you talk about there, I walked in that shower too.
How
just
many?
like you.
Hold on, Foster. How
After
many?
you.
Foster, how many
I
showers?
have no recollection of nobody private beginning with public.
How many showers a day y'all were taking?
One in the morning, one in the evening. But the
Because
showers at the training school is not an individual shower to say somebody can lock the door. It's one shower, Angie, and everybody is in the shower. Which is the same thing you bathe. I bathe there. I don't know what dormitory you all were in, but I was in Dorm 1, if you can recall, 40 years ago. I was in Dorm 1. There were 6 of us in that dormitory. 2 St. Lucians, a Bajan, and I don't remember who the others were. All right? But when we go to shower, we were doing the same thing with you. But I have no recollection of anybody private. Private parts. That you remember it? If you're the man, if the man is your client, man, talk law. Defend the man. He's your client. I know you'll have a policy that you'll never ask your client if they're guilty of the crime. Your duty is to find a man not guilty and to defend him. Stick to that. Don't talk nonsense about shower and you know the Pixar AI because you know the man 40 years ago. Why stop talking nonsense? Papi show. I showered there too.
I
so
must
where my private
friend.
is? Ko private mo. Ko Huawei ole potwe.
Foster, but hold on now. Hold on. So it seems to
Those
be.
fellows are sick.
It seems
You
to
know?
me that is Mr. Fredges the attorney
you
in the
stick-
case or
why
a
you
witness?
sticking so-
No, because I have to.
Let it go on, Sheila.
No, I have to hold it back. Because you're already letting it all out there, so I have to hold it back.
I mean, you
Is
have to
he-
make those fellas look like the fools that they are.
Is he a witness in the case or is he the attorney?
Are
on
you
record?
a defendant? You're not a defendant. That's your private. You talking. Ça c'est private too. Who connaît ça bugla pli passer ça où?
Jesus.
You know the man do have foot, no? You know the man have 6 fingers. You know the man. Ça fait mistake. That's what you using telling people television time to do.
You
To
think
talk.
maybe they told him to go on there and defend him and he just started saying anything that came to
Papi,
his
sure,
mind?
you'll say the wrong thing just now. Because you'll have a way of it in your words. When you have to mitigate, I hope you can say private, what the private is in public. When you have to mitigation is when...
Litigate.
No, mitigate. Mitigate is when they find somebody guilty and you have to say something
Yeah.
good for them to lessen the sentence. All right, Angie, that's a legal term. So when you have to mitigate, save that for when you have to mitigate. All right? Don't talk your foolishness in public, boy. Keep that when you're in Denver in your rum shop, drinking your rum. Don't say that on national TV.
Somebody
So
says
I
somebody
have more
says
to
here
drop from
Fredges
you.
felt the weight and never forgot.
You're making people start to think different of you. Fredges, I knew you as a police officer. I've spoken about you already, you know.
Oh Lord.
You've never crossed my path where I had to really, except one situation where I saw you were so foolish. All right? But let me see what I have else to tell you, Fredges. So Fredges, let me tell you something. What's your legacy? Because you left the police force as a superintendent. You cadet officer, you went up the ranks fast because of, they give you cadet officer, which is gazetted role, rank, and then you spend most of your time in that rank. And what contribution did you make? What did you change? What did you better? What did you put in place that is effective today that you can say that was your mark that you left in the police force. Use your show and come and see that. And if you want to ask me the same thing, why I'm asking you that, I can tell you, and I've said it on the show, I don't want to repeat that. I have made my contribution in the police force. Every officer, up to today, it's 2 years I've left the force this month. And when I meet police officers who know me, not the foolish ones, they're the police officers who are really concerned about the force. Those guys would basically want to come to attention when they see me because of what I have left, the impression I've left on them. Nobody not recognizing you as a police officer, and you left as superintendent. Fridges. And you know that. I command more respect in my little rank than you can ever have as a superintendent of police. Palma de pour Frederick. And you know, do us a favor. Don't tell anybody, don't remind anybody that you're police officers. You see that two of y'all talking that kind of nonsense on the show? Because y'all are sitting on the very seat where there are two men who in the morning come and disgrace, say the worst things about police. One of them have had a history with the police. I don't know about the other one, how many times he have dodged the police. I don't know. But I'll not doubt that the police have run behind him before. Gaston, what's your legacy? Qui ça vous rapporte à the television? What are you saying on the show to make a young police officer who know that the two of you are former police officers would want to sit down in front of the TV and listen? For the last 10 years, and I must say that, the last 10 years, Richard Frederick's show has been against Jan Gustav, Chico, Guy Joseph, Alan Chastney. You joining him and you just say like a mumu, just agreeing with everything the man say. You all have not spoken anything about law on that program.
I remember when that program started. I don't know if you can recall, years ago.
I know well, and I have a statement to make on that too, that very point.
They started talking about land disputes,
Richard Frederick,
how to go about. And I remember this attorney, I think there was a female attorney who started with him. I can't remember her name now. And they were talking about...
On radio, you mean?
Yes. Can I help you? That's what the show was about.
They were giving...
Veronica Bernard. They were giving people legal advice and all of that.
Right. So I'm giving you your little... Richard, I'm giving you your little plug. Because I'm sure you'll remember just what Angie said there. I used to be the first person calling, "Can I help you?" At that time, it was "Can I help you?" on Radio 100. Richard, I'm sure you can remember that. Because although you're a man who's conveniently just forget things. Because I had to remind you about custody suite when you were challenging Jan Gustav. And I told you, and I will remind you about something again about Jan Gustav. I told you Jan Gustav is one of the best sergeants in the RSLPF up to today. Despite all the magic promotions they do in the two sergeant, the man is this month, he's 9 years sergeant. And for your information, 2 sergeants of police, one 9 years and 10 years service in the rank, have taken the commissioner and the executive of the force to court for over the promotions. And I support them 100%. And anytime I know that case is in court, I will be around the court. Just like the Prime Minister was around the court. To see that justice will be served. When he knew that the case would be withdrawn against Onesile. I'm finding myself there. Something that he later denied that he was ever by the court. But I won't do like Philippe Pierre. I will always say I will be there, and I was there when that matter calls. So, but let's go back. Let's go back to Fridges again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, speak about the discrepancies in promotions. How a man can jump 3 ranks in a year and a half because of and no other thing but political influence. What it takes a man, what it took me nearly 20 years to get. I got promoted in 2003. 2003. After 14 years service, I got corporal. And I got promoted to sergeant in 2017. June 30th. That's 14 years. And I acted sergeant throughout the 14 years. Why are you talking about that? You know why that happened? Because people who are actually taking out your names on promotion lists just because they know you were not supporting SLP. And you know that, Frederick Utela. You're a gazetted officer. You knew that. The force was only laborers that were getting promoted. Why are you talking about that? You're talking about people in bathroom 40 years ago. The only clear thing you can remember is the man private, Pat. You just like Chuck this sang a song. And he said, while they washing the doctors, washing the dirty doctors in Trinidad, while they bathing the patients at the hospital, all they focusing on is the man private part. Chuck this has a song on that. Ou ka behave même quand c'est bouk ça en Trinidad. But back to you, Fridges. How can I suspect you? Sure. All right. Talking about. But let me, in case you're listening and you tag Richard, the victimization in the force have gone so far that you have a minister, an MP, who going on all people's Facebook page, who on Facebook every weekend, almost every weekend, you reliably given a dose of that MP cursing or drunk, either in the casino kicking people's vehicles or urinating somewhere or cursing, calling Norbert Williams some kind of name. This is Norbert Williams. Live! The man is doing that live. This same man today has made a complaint against a sitting sergeant of police, going on the man's Facebook page and saying how the man called him jackass. Man, you have called everybody jackass. Richard Frederick have called everybody jackass. Public servants, police. The man have been calling my name on a program, and a whole 10 years I have not seen Richard Frederick in person. A whole 10 years I have not seen the man, but I promised him that when I leave the force, I promised Richard that. And Richard, if you again, your memory, you will know that, you'll remember that I told you that when I leave the police force, I'm retiring you in the public interest out of politics. You should not be in no public office. Remember Richard Frederick came to the Lama building. The same, just one floor below where they had him in custody. Richard Frederick came there 2 years ago. While we were preparing my department and all my staff, we were there. All of us dressed in police uniform. We were there preparing hampers. We had lumpers lined up from inside the office to the corridor near his office door. Because he has his office in that same building on the first floor. And as soon as the man came into the building, the first thing the man said to me on that floor, Chico, how you supporting a jackass like Alan Chastney? You said that, Richard Frederick. Don't come and lie today and say you didn't say that. You said that. And I can bring 6 police officers there who can, some of them are supporting SLP, but they will not be able to lie if I put it to them that they heard you say that and you're making reference to me. You call Alan Chastney, the Prime Minister, a jackass.
Prime Minister at the time, eh?
Yes, at the time. In full view and hearing of all the police officers who were preparing the numbers with me. But today, man, when you're taking people up, when you're taking a case against somebody, you yourself must not be guilty of that same, what you're accusing the person. And they call it, you must have clean hands. You cannot be cursing people all over the place. And when somebody curses you, you want to take them to court. And everybody know you cursing everybody. Now, don't come and lie and say, that's not true, you know. Because I can almost say the names, but I'll not say the officer's name. But if I can bring them to a radio station now, all of them will say, that's true. And what I'm saying there is 100% true. I'm not leaving my home to come here to tell any lie. I'm not y'all. And can I suspect you? Sure. All right?
What is hold on, Foster. What is amazing to me is the lengths to which these people will go simply to support what is unsupportable. That's not a word. That's a new word I'm coming up with.
We can make words.
We can make words because they can make words. You cannot support it. And Fregis, was the one who said, by keeping Richard Frederick in office, the Prime Minister is forcing St. Lucians to accept what is unacceptable.
Let me tell you, when Fregis was in the force, because Fregis left, when Fregis was in the force, Angie, I guarantee you that Fregis would have heard while he's around the corridors of police headquarters, accusations by police officers about Richard Frederick, you know. That was by SLP supporters, police officers who support Labour Party, was saying things openly against Richard Frederick in the police, amongst police officers. That was a discussion we were having all the time. Fellas used to challenge me. Police officers who are now retired just like me, who are now supporting Richard Frederick. I tell them, boy, so you see y'all, God will punish y'all, you know. God will punish y'all, you know. Because to them fellas, they all of a sudden, they forget everything that they used to say. Because Richard Frederick is now in SLP.
That's the part I don't understand.
Be consistent. Fregis, be consistent. Who serve that Buglate Zoteka di buy about Richard Frederick? What is Bob Bugla? On an old corrupt seat that others are saying anything on before you come and sit down on it on a Thursday night. You have 2 men who come in and say the worst things sitting on that same seat you and Richard Frederick sitting on. I've been to that studio, you know, Fregis. I've been to NBC, you know, sitting down between your 2 clowns. I've been there. But while I was there, I was doing a program, a police program. At that time, when you're doing police programs, you're not being accused of spreading politics.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I went to another station, all of a sudden it's doing the same thing. It's politics I was doing. How many times you went on a police program, Fregis, in your service? You know how long I'm doing what I'm doing there? You know how long I've been going on police programs? I did it at Radio St. Lucia. I did it at Radio 100. I did Radio Caribbean. I did it at Hot FM. I did it at Radio Caribbean, if I have not said it yet.
You said that already.
I did it at Sky FM, and now I'm doing it here. And I'm doing it in Fire FM, not Fire FM. 92.1 was Hits Radio
Okay.
that have gone off there. That's 8 radio stations. 8 radio stations. And you know when I brought those shows to an end? When people like your NBC clowns and Choice TV went to Mr. Daisy as commissioner and told him how we're speaking politics on the show. While there was, the commissioner summoned me and Jan Gustav to his office. There was an inspector of police on a program in uniform on Radio 100 with Claudius Francis. And the argument is that Sky FM host at the time was political. So at that meeting with the commissioner, I asked him, and the deputy commissioner, Mr. Shalry. I can say the names because those two men will not challenge me on that because they know that's the truth. So just in case you didn't hear, Mr. Fridges, let me say that again. The police programs I used to attend was brought to an end by Mr. Daisy while he was commissioner of police because of a complaint made by the MBC clowns, the two units replaced on that chair. MBC clowns and Choice clowns went to Mr. Daisy complaining that we are going at Sky FM, which is a political station. Even foolish police officers, SLP police officers, were talking that rubbish, that Sky FM is a political station, as though Choice is not one, HTS is not one,
NBC is not one.
NBC is not one. So Sky FM was the only political station. So Mr. Daisy summoned myself and Jan Gustav, who was coming on the show as my guest. He summoned us to his office to answer that complaint. When we got there, Mr. Shalry has the police regulations handy at a page, marked off a page, where we could be charged for giving information, police information on the radio. And by the time I was through with the meeting, Mr. Shalry closed the book. I don't even think he ever found where he put that book. Because I made him realize that they were misinterpreting that part of the legislation. It has nothing to do with... And it was Mr. Daisy himself that authorized the show. Many, many years ago, he was not even commissioner yet. He was not even in the deputy commissioner yet. Many, many years ago. And when I reminded him that he was the one who authorized the show, many years ago, he said he couldn't remember that. But he was willing to prosecute me for going on a political show, for having a political show.
Wow.
So you see what you are doing there, what you are doing there, and what NBC is doing there. You all are not making the police look any better. People are more sick of you. You're making people more afraid of the police when they listen to you and Richard. Because let me tell you, the public perception of the police is already so poor. And when you're talking about the only thing you can recollect, the only thing you can big up Richard in is remembering him in a bathroom and what is private looking like and how it is AI generated because you know the man. And that's what you bring into the people as a superintendent of police. You can speak nothing on policing but Papi Show. Tell the people what you have done with your rank. How did you leave the force? What, did you leave it in a better way? Stop talking nonsense, boy. But, Angie, I have another clip. But that one is from Richard Frederick himself. I have 2 more clips, so we know the time going so fast.
Yeah.
People just remember you all can call at any time. I have a clip where Richard
Okay, let me see if I can get this one.
is speaking on the CCC.
Okay.
He's making reference to me. He's talking on
July 2nd and questioned in relation to allegations involving a matter dating back to
we'll play that one after
2015.
I will play.
Following several hours of questioning, the minister was released without charge. Speculation surrounding the matter intensified throughout the day, with supporters and members of the public questioning the circumstances surrounding both the investigation and the timing of the minister's detention. Concerns have also been raised over what supporters describe as inconsistencies in the timeline of the allegations, the investigation and the subsequent police action.
Uka investigate, uka fedis feda, then uka sab. Saki fetiye si yufin kai mwe kyudimwe dimun ferry port court mwe. Ek mwe kakashili boti se ki mun kisa fe report court mwe kati kisa. Okay. And then you put this a station. Don't put this on, so where this on a queue.
Speaking on his television program, Can I Help You, Thursday evening, and again on Friday morning during a telephone interview on NBC's Zafenu, Frederick described the allegations as false and suggested the matter was intended to damage his reputation. He said this was not the first time he had been subjected to what he described as unfounded allegations.
Don't forget the people have to create sensationalism. Don't forget they have to cause embarrassment. Don't forget they have to put you in the negative light nationally and internationally. But at the end of the day, just like a budget is a statement of intention. So si mwen jwen $3 million, na fe $5 million. Là ou pa $3 million, ou pa sa fe sa ou te gadi ya, ou te gadi fe.
The minister also stated that based on the line of questioning during the interview with investigators, he became increasingly confident that the allegations would not withstand scrutiny. He maintained his innocence and said he intends to continue cooperating with the authorities.
I cannot say they treated me in any bad way. And the good thing is, when they realize that yes, they were even more cooperative then, because Yadida is not even SOS Ayokakwe Ayota Ogwen Sab and the Opel Sab, see the truth.
Police have not released additional details regarding the investigation, and no charges have been announced.
Okay, stop it. You heard him say in the end of the show, of the clip, that when they realized that the evidence was not matching what the complaint was, they were even more cooperative.
Mm-hmm.
So you can speak about the case. So I have to limit what I say about the case. But you can speak about it. Fredis can speak about it and say there is no evidence. I'm tempted to speak about it,
Don't we still have that white paper?
No, you see, I want to make the people know that those fellas, y'all are the thing they say about a defendant, Angie.
Mm-hmm.
You ascribing hatred to me.
That one, we'll play that clip just now, right? So just hold that. When you take a defendant to the court, Angie, the burden of proof is on you, the policeman. You have to prove your case. The defendant, when he's brought in for questioning on whatever, interview, whatever, the man is not bound to say anything.
Right.
As a matter of fact, you can charge a man and he can say, I have nothing to say. Especially when he has a lawyer, the lawyer tells him, don't say anything. But you would have your backup evidence when you go to court.
Right.
The suspect in that case can say he was on the moon when that complaint was made against him, he launched a rocket from Miku, wherever he come from, and he spent the last 5 years on the moon, and then he came back. So during that time when the complaint was made, he was nowhere on Earth. He can say that, but the evidence, when presented, will demur him.
Mm-hmm.
That's when the magistrate may find you guilty or not guilty, whatever the case is. And then the same stupid lawyer who's telling you to say you're on the moon will come and say they're giving a plea of mitigation.
Mm-hmm.
So they say, oh, he forget he was not on the moon, he at that time come back. The same fellas who were arguing for the whole case that they were on the moon, you know,
Mm-hmm.
would come back and lie. That's what lawyers do for their money. So, Richard, you see you and Fridges, I want you all to, now I'll not respond to you all, even though you all take that show and you all make another magie with it. But before I leave you all, I want to play that last clip, Angie. Not that last one, huh? That one, there's one more after that. But play that one, because Richard is making reference to me.
The one I was about to play.
The one you were
a while ago?
about to play there.
All right, there it goes.
You ascribing hatred to me. Why? I mean, I know politics is nasty. You're an inspector of police. You have a touchlight looking for trouble everywhere. CCC has a parking lot there. You don't know if it's under rental. You don't know what the lease arrangement is. CCC has property all over. CCC has all the booths and everything. But you have touchlight looking for trouble. And so you will say that I told you I've not spoken to this boy in years. When last I saw you? I don't know when last I saw the boy. I don't know when last. You are the same one as an inspector of police who said that the government minister should be flogged. You are the same one. Today you're calling a radio station and say, I said I hate. Folks, I don't manifest hatred. I may be disappointed with somebody.
Yes,
I may be disgusted, but I don't have a hatred. I can't.
Hey, Richard.
My energy is too positive to have a hatred.
Richard, you can't.
Just too positive. You are a police officer. You know, how can you objectively assess a situation? How can you discharge your duties as a police officer when you are so blatantly political?
You see,
everybody has their own side. I don't have a difficulty with that.
You see, we call it
You have called for the flogging of ministers. Today you will call and say, I said I hate white people. And guess that? You have a witness who's a police officer. Who's the same witness that you all had when you all went and made a report against me. That's the same one. You need to stop it, man. If you want to jump into the political arena, take off the police uniform and come in the arena.
Tell Fridges that.
Come. But that touchlight you have looking for trouble, my brother, you better throw it away. You have a touchlight looking for trouble. And whatever trouble you're looking for, I just hope you can handle it. Because you are persecuting everybody all over the place. You go by Dark's place, you want to cause trouble there. Huh? You want to cause trouble by the man's business. Stop it. Stop it. Ou so police, so vous voulez faire politicien, vini your brother will be going up against the prime minister. You have enough time.
Okay,
Hold
stop
on.
it there, Angie. Because I want to take enough time to dismantle that fool, that idiot Richard Frederick.
So hold on.
But I've spoken about
I need
that
to ask
already
you
on
some
that
questions.
program.
I need to ask you some
Yeah.
questions. So you had a touchlight,
Looking for trouble.
looking for trouble.
But ask him what trouble I look for, sir. That's why
He said that you were persecuting everybody everywhere.
looking for trouble.
So he mentioned
Richard Frederick is
he
a
mentioned
fool.
something
I'll
that you've
call you
spoken
something
about
else, Richard.
already. Hold on.
But not on radio.
He mentioned something, the parking lot by CCC,
By Dax.
by DAX. The CCC, the parking lot by DAX.
Yeah.
What was the situation? I recall
I will give you the
vaguely.
whole story, Angie. I'll give you the whole story. That block by Dax there had an old CDC on it.
Right.
They broke that down several times.
I
Dax
recall-
wasn't even a businessman in the city
I
yet.
recall that very well because I had a
Right.
friend who lived there.
Right. Since during the time, all of a sudden they fenced that area before Dax came into business on that street.
Mm-hmm.
And then Dax came around and then he started using that parking as his parking because he put a gate on it and he was controlling the keys. I've parked in there many times. I buy my chemical at Dax. Now that day, let me tell you, I've said that before, but since some of my friends using that, how they might say you have your touchlight, that fool Richard Frederick is just a fool. Listen to what happened. I normally go to Dax to buy chemical. That's normally my first stop. I come down with my bottle and I stop there. I park in that very lot. I go right in the same store and I just pull off the road. I buy my chemical if I don't get a spot on the road, and then I move out. I never had a problem with Dax. But that day, I had other shopping to do. So I made two wrongs. There was no parking on the road and I had chemical to buy. But I also had to go to the Jano Credit Union to get cash, which is just about 5 minutes walk away.
Yeah.
So I pull up there
A train pulls into a small Dutch
and was
station on
walking
a grey
out
morning, and
of the parking lot. Dax and some other guy was there painting some barrels or whatever at the entrance of the lot. So when I parked and I was walking out, the guy came in front of me, Dax came in front of me and he blocking me and telling me where I'm going. So I tell him, how you mean where I'm going? I tell him that's not his damn business. So the man calling on one of his workers. He tell him, get the keys for the gate, for him to lock my vehicle inside of the parking. Listen to that well and tell me what I did that is an offense. I going around looking for trouble. I have touchlight. That's lucky that day I would have put my hands on him. But when I saw towards the end of the thing, I'll tell you why I didn't do Dax anything. With the nonsense that idiot talking there. Richard Frederick. I want you to know, people to know is you are talking about. So, when the guy called the man who was coming with the key is Guy Lawrence, that boxer from Darling Road. I know Guy Lawrence a long time because in my line of duty I had reasons to. I know Guy. I will not say what I did. So when as the guy approached the key, Dax is there waiting for him. So I'm telling Dax, wait, you're actually going to close my vehicle there because I'm not answering you as to where I'm going? So Guy is approaching. So Guy say, hey, officer, want to, because Guy don't have reasons to know me. I'll not get into the particulars on that show. So when the Dax fella here, Guy, I called me officer. I don't know how Dax don't know me because throughout the campaign, I worked as a policeman. I've been places in Dax in uniform. I'm one of the officers who walking all around the city in my inspector's uniform. Dax must have known me. All right. But anyway, when a guy called me, officer, he's coming and he's telling me, man, you should have tell me you're a policeman. I would not lock your vehicle. I tell him, wait. I tell him, so what? That land is your land. I must tell you I'm a policeman for me to park on government land, parking lot. So I've noticed he start fidgeting because he start realizing he grab a tiger by the tail. But anyway, the last thing I said to Dax, I tell him, let me tell you something. I'm going right across. I didn't tell him where I was going. I'm going just across the road. If when I come back here, Richard, I want you to listen. Because all your foolish, drunken supporters who listen to your show think it's something I do it so much because I'm looking for trouble. I told Dax to tell you, I am going across the road there. When I come back there, if my vehicle is locked, I am going to go inside my vehicle. I'm going to damage that gate. And Dax is paying the damage to my vehicle. That's what I told him. Because he has no damn right to lock the government compound. I walked to Jano Credit Union. When I got to the door, I didn't even go inside. I saw the line making some zigzag inside. And I walked back. It took me less than 8 minutes to go and come back. Because the distance is not far. When Dax saw I am coming back with the warning I gave him, he's now calling, where the key, where the key? I warned the guy, don't let me come back there. And that time I was on pre-retirement leave. That's lucky, And I told him, my hand was in his face, so I told him, boy, you lucky. Because Dax came very close to getting a bite from King Cobra. And King Cobra bite.
You're mixing up your animal groups there. A while ago you said a tiger, now you're saying a King Cobra. Yeah, I understand that. Now, Foster, I understand. So, okay.
Richard, you don't know me. I'm a trained man.
So it was.
You and Frederick, you all don't know me. That's why I've been warning you all.
So basically,
do not mess around.
So basically, what happened was Richard Frederick was blowing the situation out of proportion.
Yes, he said I all over the place looking for trouble. I went to Barbados, not in the bathroom. I spent all my time. Like you and
Some of your time was spent in the training ground.
Richard Frederick, let me tell you something, and Frederick, let me make you all remember. If you all don't know, let me tell you. I went to training school in Barbados. I spent 6 months, not in the bathroom, watching my private. I spent 6 months just like you all. I was one of 3 police officers who trained in Barbados in the history of Barbados, who left. You all know what's West, because if you're trained there, you all will know. West is when you commit an infringement. Mm-hmm. And every Wednesday, they're taking you to see the commandant and they're charging you $2, just like court. If your boots are dirty, just to keep you in line. That's what they do at training school. Richard Frederick and Frederick, I want you all to know. I left training school as one of the 3 police officers on the whole Caribbean who does train in Barbados, who have never committed a disciplinary offense at RPTC, Regional Police Training Center in Barbados. So it's not here. I will come and look for trouble. I walking all over the city. You are fool. You are fake, Richard. You are a liar. Both you and Frederick are liars. So when Dax told you what I tell him, I tell Dax. Because he is quickly looking for the key because he remember what I told him. And when he got the key, he opened the key. I tell him, open the gate, touch your gate yourself and swing it open. Because I'm not touching your gate. And I tell him, let me tell you something. You see what you're doing in the city there? Think you're the boss of the city, especially that corner. That parking lot is not your parking lot. And everybody, I've parked there on many occasions and go on do business in your own supermarket. Mm-hmm. I don't buy alcohol, I don't buy other things that is readily available there. I don't deal with them things. I buy chemical or I buy some other thing from your store. Don't mess with me. He tell me about Richard list there for him and he that taking care. I tell him, who knows that? The 2 of you all alone that know that. Because the other people who park in there go in and drink rum. I'm not drinking rum. You want to lock my vehicle. That's what I told the man, He went and tell Richard, and Richard making a whole show saying how I, Inspector Police, behave myself. But Dax lucky. But where's Dax today? Richard, where Dax today? Ko Dax sa ou ka pali about la, ou te ka defender. Kote yi? Ou pa e di moun sa ki vive zot de. Kote yi? Bougla ou te ka defender, ou ka manti an Inspector Police by Dax. Ko Dax actuellement?
Now,
You see how those guys are lying?
He
just
said
for
you were persecuting
persecuting
everybody.
everybody.
But
What
that's
did I
just
do?
one incident. So
Yeah.
what
What
other
everybody, yeah.
what other incidents did you find yourself embroiled in
I
that
tell you,
constituted you
Richard
persecuting
Frederick
people?
and Fridges cannot match my character and my integrity. The two of you mixed together cannot total to my integrity. I tell you up to today, Angie, when I meet police officers are coming to attention. I'm one of the model police officers in that RSLPF, Angie. I tell you, I have the cleanest police record in the police service, you know.
What was it?
In the Caribbean, you know.
Was it record laundering? Because I hear when they launder
So
them,
when
and
you
they're
have two
really clean.
fools, two idiots, nobody like y'all, when you're in the force, people are talking about y'all leave people even studying y'all. But yet still you're on a show. Can I suspect you show?
Now,
Angie, you know, I don't want to get vexed. I don't hate anybody, but I cannot hate foolish people. Make people think that they are so much. Fredges, I hope I have given you all that you deserve. And if I missed anything, just prick me a little more. According to Philippe, just make me vex again. And I'm going to give you more.
like somebody I know very well like to say, if you provoke me.
You know, I can say so much, but let me tell you, since you're his client, he's your client, can I suspect you?
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you something. I've told Jan Gustav that if...
What was the name of the other officer, though? You always talk about Jan Gustav, but there was another officer who was transferred, I believe, on the word of this
Kakal
very
was
same.
put under pressure by the commissioner
Mm-hmm.
because he performed on a UWP platform
Mm-hmm.
in Denry, whatever, south or north, I don't know, somewhere in Denry.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of political talk.
Mm-hmm.
As a result, he was transferred and so on. Talium was Mr. Chasney's personal bodyguard, CPO, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And Richard said that he doesn't like, the man does not like Philippe, and he is always in close proximity to Philippe, so he's a danger to Philippe. They transferred the man. All that is bad for that idiot, you know. All that is from it, you know. Why are you tackling police officers like that? Man, you're a minister of government. The fellas don't even know if you're alive. And you have a fool, a psychic fool, like Fredges, come in and endorse you. Always have his head down as well. Lift up your head and let people see your face. Fredges, don't hide behind your laptop. Because imagine you're doing. You have Jan Gustav in Audley room trying to prevent the man. The man is 9 years a sergeant. Trying to prevent the man from getting promoted. Every time promotion coming, you're pulling some stupid, nonsensical case. And the commission and them are there. Y'all are there enabling that politicians pappy showing y'all. Richard Frederick is the same man.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about you didn't want, the police could not have put you overnight in custody suite. You remember, Richard, you caused them to arrest Dale Elliott and put him at Babono overnight. When you claim the man was stalking you because the man and you driving up the Grizzly Road and the man stopped in front of you twice or three times, you give a whole relay of pappy show. And the charge is not was not proven at all. The elements of stalking was not existent at all in that scenario. Yet still, you had a police officer to detain a man overnight at Barbuda police station, and they dropped the man. Up to today, they have never Chad German proceeded on Chad German. So what happened? You cannot be detained and released, Richard. The police just granted you a privilege. They didn't hold you. But the police was okay if they would hold you for the night and release you next morning without charge. The police can do that. You made them do it to Dale Elliott. What happened? It cannot be happen to you. And you know what the sad thing about that? The police officer in the Dale Elliott matter. And that's a fact, Richard. That's a fact. Dale Elliott was never charged. He spent the night at Babuno. Now I am Dale's lawyer. If those fellas are so chicken that they will let them things happen to them and don't file action against the police, that's them. But don't play. You can cause it to happen to somebody else and it cannot happen to you. For a worse situation. That's a worse situation, you know, that you're involved in. They can't keep you overnight. And you had a man sleeping at Babono police station because a man driving ahead of you and he stopped. That's stalking. The police officer later said, boy, they are being bullied by ministers. As though anytime the Labour Party members make a complaint, they must take action because somebody in the executive have to tell them some fully. That is Papi Show and Mr. Gad. Mr. Gad, I'm suggesting to you. It is my information that one or two persons who have decided to engage in a protest action, current protest action, have been threatened by certain individuals. They're getting calls. That has happened before. This has happened before. I'm putting you, Mr. Commissioner, on your executive on notice. Tell the police officers, do not take that as routine and just Papi Show the people report. Anytime there is a complaint against a member of the Labour Party, whether it's an MP or a supporter, the police seem to be dragging their feet. The police dragging their feet when it comes to locking up people relating to the SLP. I know what I'm saying. Stop that or caution your officers very early. The police, the present situation is against an MP who on his own show, at his own time, said openly that the police giving him files on public and private individuals. The police just continue giving him files. You have a list of files also. He said that reference to the Dale Elliott matter. That went nowhere, Mr. Gad. Miss Pellews promised to investigate that matter. It was one of two investigations that Miss Pellews started. The one on the DCP and the files that Richard Frederick was getting from the police. You have made a bold and brave pronouncement on the DCP's matter. It is the first time in my policing career that I've heard a commissioner of police make a statement like what you make, closing a case totally. No other commissioner have done that. But you, Mr. Gad. Leave that there. We'll revisit that in due course. But the second promise Ms. Pellews made was to investigate who at CID or who within the police force was giving the minister files also. Is it your intention to investigate that? Or you have rubbished that as not worthy of investigation. We need to hear your opinion on that, Mr. Gad. At least I need to know whether you are not interested in finding out which police officer is giving Richard Frederick files, because the man said that on national TV.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not going to investigate it, tell us why you're not going to investigate it, Mr. Gad. Because this same MP is the same one being investigated by the police. How are you going to convince the same public to have confidence in the police investigation? I want to ask you that question, Mr. Gad. How are you going to convince people, the same public who heard Richard Frederick say that, how are you going to convince them to have patience and have faith in the police investigation in that current matter? You see what happens when you don't do what you'll have to do? Où est ça qui a fait les hommes pas point action? Les hommes ni pour point? You have the whole public saying, boy, that case ain't going nowhere. Because somebody can just come and just whitewash that with old paint they buy in any store in town. Old white paint. You see what happens when you don't bail that cat early? Woman kabale pour Mr. Gad. Mrs. Pelius left that on the desk. You're sitting on the same desk. Ou pate we sa la pour investigate? What are you saying about it?
But
That's where police perception, that's where the public perception is.
but first, I have a question to ask you.
Yeah.
You mentioned the DCP. You're talking about the Deputy Commissioner of Police.
Yes.
But isn't it true that one of the commissioners said that the files were on their desk but it disappeared, and then I think I heard that when another person went to look for the files were underneath the keyboard of the computer. You think maybe the same situation is repeating itself?
Let me correct you. The two commissioners, previous commissioners, said they did not see the file.
Oh, it was two of them.
Two of them. After they left office, somebody walked into their office, and the first thing they saw was the file on the desk.
That they didn't see.
That they didn't see. So that answers your question, Angie. All right? That investigation into that first matter, that was not today's thing, you know. That was conducted by a sergeant of police who's retired. And probably in due course, Angie, I'll give you more information on that. On that. Because people think that is a new thing. That started a while back. There were many allegations over a period of time. You know? I was in the force all that time. And I know that. So don't worry the people that talking them nonsense, they're rubbish. Those things are actually happened in real time. So when you hear them foolish fake lawyers coming and talk nonsense as though they alone that went to secondary school. You know, you don't have to go to university to be smart, you know. And education is not common sense.
And common sense is not common. We've learned that. We've learned that. So, Foster, I mean, these allegations, well, I've come to the realization that the members of cabinet, especially the current ones, I don't think they can separate themselves from the House of Parliament, because you know that their utterances when the mic is on and they are speaking, their utterances in the cabinet are protected. And
Yeah.
it seems to me that they believe that that protection, when they leave the house, they carry it with them wherever they go. Because why else would these individuals act or speak with such impunity? It's almost as if they feel that they are protected somehow, so they can do what they want, they can say what they want, and nothing should happen, nothing should come of it. And I'm seeing this situation manifest in so many ways. And here we are with a situation where a government minister or several government ministers, because I find it very hard to believe that evidence is now emerging that during the election campaign, several ministers of government had access to SSDF checks, but only one minister continued to use those checks after the election was done. I find that hard to believe. I believe that this is simply the case that we have caught. And we've yet to uncover evidence of the others. Because everything I'm hearing is that I'm hearing that a certain business place produced several SSDF checks. And they're saying that the persons who came to them with those checks said that those checks emanated from the MP for ancillary canneries. This is an allegation that the MP has not answered. Now, I've been a reporter since 2022. I've never heard that MP speak unless it's in Parliament or if he's at a press conference. So I don't think he will volunteer. I remember the first time I heard that MP speak, and somebody said hello to him, and he answered, and I said, "Wait, you can speak?"
Isn't that the guy the Prime Minister said, well, nobody's seen the man. The man is in his office somewhere working on a project?
Working hard.
1.75 years.
Yes, working very hard. So maybe he's still under that desk somewhere working hard. I'm not sure. But the allegations are that those checks came from that minister. That minister is yet to say a word. He's yet to answer. He is yet to give an account. We don't know.
The reports are that the people who have been personally under those checks.
Yes, but the individuals who came with those checks indicated that they came from that particular minister.
Right.
We're hearing allegations that SSDF checks were paid to a family in Soufrière, tens of thousands of dollars, for them to stay away from the polls and not vote. And the allegations again are that this check or these checks came from the minister, the MP for Soufrière. Another person who has remained completely mute, has said nothing, and has not made any explanation or has not even attempted to defend themselves against these allegations. Still, we have allegations of SSDF checks. Not checks. SSDF vouchers being circulated during the election campaign by the candidate and now MP for Babouneau. He was a candidate at the time, but he was handing out vouchers. And we have had no explanation to these allegations at all. Now, I find it very hard to believe, as bad as Richard Frederick is, that he's the only guilty party, because I believe wholeheartedly that that people do what they are allowed to do. Okay? People
You
do
see me?
what you allow them to do.
All of those fellas are the same.
So I am of the opinion that Richard Frederick might just be the tip of the iceberg.
Our first caller was very clear. The person said that this calls for who does the ask the question, who does the auditing. And that is what the people, the citizens are asking now. Shouldn't by now, with that kind of revelation and that kind of information out there in the public, shouldn't we be comforted by knowing that there is an audit on,
Yeah.
and the persons who have signed those checks that are in circulation or went in circulation can give an account as to how their names, how they got to deliver those, because the persons whose names are, who signed the checks, are not the ones necessarily who delivered the checks. And that's what the caller, our first caller, was suggesting, that why at this point we don't have more information
Mm-hmm.
on
And-
that on that matter.
And I find it strange again that Mr. Victory has not seen fit to come out and clear his name.
Those guys will never say anything.
No, but Foster, I cannot see
Those
myself.
guys, I
Listen,
tell you, unless
if I
some
am
of those guys
innocent,
are
if I am
brought in-
innocent in a matter, or if I was operating under orders from a higher authority, I cannot see myself taking the blame for somebody else.
Angie, there is a good way to make some people sing, you know. There's a good way to make
Hold a karaoke session.
people sing. You see, when the people who sign the checks, you see if they're put a certain place, or they call to. We had an MP detained or in custody or asked to come in, whatever would is pleasing for him to see for 12 hours. If you see they hold one or two of them questioning for not even 12 hours, hold them for 4 hours and question them properly. See if you are in different calypsos being
Calypso, they sing it.
There are many ways to skin a cat, you know. The
Yeah.
catfish guys know that well.
Yeah.
The catfish. I have a new phrase now, Angie. This is a catfish government.
It's very sad. I heard a
We
clip.
have gone down that road already about catfish. So every St. Lucian should know what catfish is. Good evening, Mr. Dale Elliott. Thanks for permitting me to use your
Your term.
terms.
Terms and conditions are applying. yeah.
Catfish, that's a catfish government that day. Don't expect those fellas to come out and sing unless you really squeeze them the wrong place, Angie. Those guys will sing, but you must know how to make them sing. But I know time running out, Angie. We have one more clip. I would like you to play that just for me to have another laugh. I want.
Because I noticed you were very irate.
It's in real, boy, let me tell you, I ain't fixed yet, Angie. Wait down the road. Probably by next week, as things unfold, I'll get more fixed. I sent you the number 7 clip.
Yeah.
It have where they're speaking out to close off the first clip to demote the first MP in the Guyanese situation. Listen how they demote an MP. Play the last clip.
Is this the same MP speaking here?
No. It's a man who knows about in the boating industry and things.
Okay. Oh, wait, the volume is not up. Wait a minute. Why, Foster,
But
you
if
have me.
politicians really making me laugh.
Foster, you have me playing clips and.
133. That is not.
Yeah, that clip.
179 people were aboard the MV Barima. The official manifest accounted for only 133. That is not a small clerical error. It is evidence that a basic safety system had already failed before the vessel ever sank. The official mourning period has ended, but the mourning has not. For the past week, I deliberately avoided speculation. We prayed, we mourned, we focused on finding the missing and giving families the dignity of burying their loved ones. I did not avoid the issue. I avoided rushing to conclusions before the facts were known. However, mourning was only our first duty. Our second duty is truth. Our third duty is accountability. And our final duty is ensuring that this never happens again. As I record this on the morning of July 26, the latest official figures I can verify are that 76 people survived, 73 bodies have been recovered, and 30 people remain unaccounted for. For more than 12 years, I worked in quality management and administration. I'm also a trained ISO 9001 internal auditor. My work involved risk-based thinking, root cause analysis, and understanding how systems fail. As such, I am not approaching this only as a commentator. I'm approaching it as someone trained to ask 3 questions. What failed, why it failed, and which controls should have prevented that failure from becoming a catastrophe. I am not here to shout. Anger is easy. Analysis requires discipline. The MV Barima was built in 1939. She was 87 years old. However, her age alone does not prove what caused her to sink. An old vessel can remain seaworthy when properly maintained, inspected, and operated. A newer vessel can become dangerous when badly managed. This does not mean that the age of the vessel is irrelevant. It means that age must be examined together with its maintenance history, structural condition, inspections, and suitability for the route on which it was operating. The government says the Barima was last dry docked in 2024 and was scheduled for further dry docking later this year. The cargo manifest recorded approximately 268 tons of cargo against the government's stated cargo capacity of 284 tons. However, because we already know that the passenger manifest was inaccurate, the accuracy of every important document, including the cargo manifest, must now be independently verified. Whether the cargo was properly weighed, distributed, and secured must also be established. Therefore, whether the vessel's condition, cargo loading, weather, sea conditions, crew conduct, or some combination of factors cause this strategy must be determined by the Commission of Inquiry. I will not pretend to know what the evidence has not yet established. Nevertheless, certain failures are already undeniable. A government review of CCTV footage confirmed that 179 people boarded the vessel, while the official manifest accounted for only 133 people boarded without being properly ticketed or recorded. Authorities also reported that the captain and first engineer tested positive for cannabis. That discovery requires serious investigation and due process. However, it is not by itself proof of what caused the vessel to sink. The management team responsible for the loading and dispatch of the MV Barima was suspended. That was appropriate. But the point that must be emphasized is that accountability cannot stop at the bottom.
Angie, you early this month, this is an expert. You know, the man doing risk assessment is an auditor. You heard how the man was precise there?
Mm-hmm.
The man said he waited, he rushed to the judgment, but all the facts that are coming. There's a video, I don't know if you saw it, of the boat prior to it getting into trouble. Have you seen it? Where they're showing nobody has life jackets on, Angie. You know where the life jackets are? Let me tell you, the man said 76 people were rescued.
Uh-huh.
73 bodies have been found dead.
Mm-hmm.
40 are still missing.
Mm-hmm.
The boat was overloaded, 46 passengers
Wow.
overload. So there is good enough evidence to suggest that the cargo was overloaded in cargo too. One other person said there was a vehicle on the two vehicles on the ferry, a pickup van and a car, and there were about 4 motorcycles.
Mm-hmm.
There was a coffin with a body. They were taking it up to the next spot for a funeral.
Mm-hmm.
They found the coffin empty and they got the body 12, 15 miles on another shore. Angie, remember there are 40 people missing. You see that will tell us what? You see the puppy show we do in here when we have boat rides. And everybody on top of the boat, people hanging on the boat, people behind the boat, people under the boat. Listen to what this man is saying, Angie. I wish we could have played that again.
We can. We
Play
can.
that again. St. Lucians, listen to that.
I'm
the
not.
puppy
I've
show we
never.
do in St.
I've.
Lucia.
I need to. I have never been on a boat ride.
Well, you'll never see me on one.
Despite the fact that my uncles, all. Let me see. 1, 2, 3
Angie,
of
we
my
have a
uncles.
boat in our yard, you know.
3 of my
And
uncles
that
are
boat will stay in
certified.
the yard.
3 of my uncles are certified
Captains.
captains. One is actually a boat engineer. He is the only one authorized to fix a certain boat engine in St. Lucia. I'm not going to mention his name. There's too much political victimization. And he has worked all over the world. His son lives in overseas and is he competes in races like the ARC race and whatever. And I am very proud. I'm very proud of my family. Yeah.
Know his onions.
Right. I'm very proud. But I have an uncle who says he cannot believe that not one of his sister's children have ever gone on a boat ride, on a family boat ride. He have glass bottom boat. He have all kind of boat. And he's saying that to me. I say, Uncle, if God wanted me on the sea, he would give me gills.
But Angie, this is so, I mean...
Because I don't want... Listen,
for a few dollars more, people are ready to sacrifice people. Because can you imagine... Have you seen some of the burials? Have you been watching that?
I don't want to watch it because...
Sometimes I don't even want to watch that.
Listen, we have so many problems in St. Lucia. As much as my heart... as my heart reach out to the Guyanese population, I have a lot of Guyanese friends. I know a lot of Guyanese people. I think we have enough problems in St. Lucia. I can't borrow Guyanese problems again. I'm not being sarcastic and I'm not being heartless. But I'm just saying that we have so many things to deal with here in St. Lucia that it's tough for me to go and yeah. Because we let's clean our own yard first, but let's listen.
People were aboard the MV Barima. The official manifest accounted for only 133. That is not a small clerical error. It is evidence that a basic safety system had already failed before the vessel ever sank. The official mourning period has ended, but the mourning has not. For the past week, I deliberately avoided speculation. We prayed, we mourned, we focused on finding the missing and giving families the dignity of burying their loved ones. I did not avoid the issue. I avoided rushing to conclusions before the facts were known. However, mourning was only our first duty. Our second duty is truth. Our third duty is accountability. And our final duty is ensuring that this never happens again. As I record this on the morning of July 26, the latest official figures I can verify are that 76 people survived, 73 bodies have been recovered and 30 people remain unaccounted for. For more than 12 years, I worked in quality management and administration. I'm also a trained ISO 9001 internal auditor. My work involved risk-based thinking, root cause analysis, and understanding how systems fail. As such, I am not approaching this only as a commentator. I'm approaching it as someone trained to ask 3 questions. What failed, why it failed, and which controls should have prevented that failure from becoming a catastrophe. I am not here to shout. Anger is easy. Analysis requires discipline. The MV Barima was built in 1939. She was 87 years old. However, her age alone does not prove what caused her to sink. An old vessel can remain seaworthy when properly maintained, inspected, and operated. A newer vessel can become dangerous when badly managed. This does not mean that the age of the vessel is irrelevant. It means that age must be examined together with its maintenance history, structural condition, inspections, and suitability for the route on which it was operating. The government says the Barima was last dry docked in 2024 and was scheduled for further dry docking later this year. The cargo manifest recorded approximately 268 tons of cargo against the government's stated cargo capacity of 284 tons. However, because we already know that the passenger manifest was inaccurate, the accuracy of every important document, including the cargo manifest, must now be independently verified. Whether the cargo was properly weighed, distributed, and secured must also be established. Therefore, whether the vessel's condition, cargo loading, weather, sea conditions, crew conduct, or some combination of factors cause this strategy must be determined by the Commission of Inquiry. I will not pretend to know what the evidence has not yet established. Nevertheless, certain failures are already undeniable. A government review of CCTV footage confirmed that 179 people boarded the vessel, while the official manifest accounted for only 133 people boarded without being properly ticketed or recorded. Authorities also reported that the captain and first engineer tested positive for cannabis. That discovery requires serious investigation and due process. However, it is not by itself proof of what caused the vessel to sink. The management team responsible for the loading and dispatch of the MV Barima was suspended. That was appropriate. But the point that must be emphasized is that accountability cannot stop at the bottom.
Every disaster myself.
Accountability cannot start at the bottom.
Boy, I tell you, Angie,
So when people say, and a lot of the labor hacks keep saying this, that we want to blame Philip JPF for everything that goes wrong in the country. He is the leader of the country. He's the guy in charge.
when systems
He's the
have failings like that, Angie,
yeah.
and 70-something people just vanish, and if they get the, or by all means, the 40 people are dead. They may never get their bodies. So you're looking at 100 people die because of a grison, you know. People just close their eyes and let things happen. One engine on the boat working and the boat just in the water just stalling and just capsizing. And you tell me the people who are responsible for that, well, some of them were on dock, on dry dock, some of them were not on the boat at all. All of those persons have to be found, Angie, and they have to be dealt with so that that never happens again.
Well, it seems that boat, the SSDF, is that boat.
But we have a lot of comments before we leave, Angie. We must.
Oh my goodness, we have so many comments. I don't know how we can read all of them, but I'm going to do my best. Somebody says here, I wonder when Lucians will wake up and smell the coffee. Spell the coffee. Somebody says, I believe all ministers were involved, hence the silence. Somebody says they're going to smell the coffee when it starts boiling. Somebody's saying Hilaire was giving vouchers too. Another says the corruption appears to be much deeper than anyone could have imagined. And I have to agree with that because it cannot be. I believe wholeheartedly, as bad as Richard Frederick is, that he was the only one caught because his hand probably was deeper in the cookie jar than other people's owns. But I don't think his was the only hand there.
Angie, the important thing is not who, to me, is not who hand the checks out, but why were the checks handed out?
Yeah.
And why were the checks not given out at a government establishment? People who go in and collect checks were brought for people at their homes. Since when the government bring in a check for you? Andrew, you know how hard it is to get a check.
Boy, let me tell you. I had a
people returns. You know how hard it is to get that?
I had a conversation with the controller of the Inland Revenue Department. And she was saying, we were talking about the TAPA Act. I don't know if you remember the TAPA Act. But it was a proposed review of our tax legislation. And she said, if you owe the government taxes, then the act would give the controller of Inland Revenue the same powers as the controller of customs to seize property and recover the tax money for the government. So I asked the question.
So when they owe you now?
That's the question I asked. That's exact. I said, okay, so when the government owes you tax money, what recourse or what powers do you have as a citizen under the TAPA Act? You know what she said to me? You will get paid eventually.
Yeah.
I say, when is eventually?
And somebody will get it and the person may not even get it.
I said, hold on. So you're saying to me that if you owe the government, you must pay now? Yes. But when the government owes me, I have to wait. Yes, we will pay you eventually. And I said, you don't realize the discrepancy in that? And she says to me, the government is not a private individual. The government have a lot of checks and balances and processes. Apparently, they still balancing the checks. That's why the SSDF checks end up there, because some of them fell off the balance. That's what it is. So, I mean, government bringing checks. But why they don't know where I live in? They never bring no checks for me.
You know how many people are waiting for returns? How many years to settle a bill, a debt or something, and the government owe them endless of money?
Listen, I heard individuals saying that this school year, they've been to SSDF, they've gone to the government ministers to collect the assistance that they normally get, and they are being turned away. They're being told that SSDF has no, it's been happening for a while.
Okay.
And people are talking about it. Somebody says all of the above in the same soup. Another says Shanda was giving vouchers in Mikud South. Somebody says this Victorine man has been awarded with a brand new Hilux, so he won't say anything. Well, I cannot corroborate that. I don't know what what vehicle the gentleman was driving before, or his financial, because the last time we heard a government minister was building condos and buying land, he said he had relationships with financial institutions, right? Okay. Somebody says you are so correct, a catfish government. Somebody says, don't give that man any chance on you, Foster. Be careful on your way. Somebody says, very old in relation to the boat. Another says, they don't want to talk. They don't want to talk. These ministers and Prime Minister Pierre, God will force them to talk with time. Karma will visit all of them. Some St. Lucians are just wicked in their hearts. Somebody says, I would not go on that vessel. Somebody says, what?
So, Angie,
79 years on an old woman?
The vessel had not moved yet. It already had water in it, People noticed that before the boat even started.
Somebody says, I think that vessel was overloaded. Another says, Angie and Foster, it was the same RF who stated on his same show sometime back that Dale Elliott wanted to link him to the impacts report.
Yeah, yes, he did. He said that.
Somebody says, here, Angie. No. So if the individuals were not properly accounted for, well, I blame them. If I don't pay a ticket, I will not go on the boat.
No,
Another
but
says,
that's why it's right people want it. A freeness. You see what freeness causes?
yep.
A freeness. The boat going, Gasso, I have money. Come, Gasso, you give me $10.
You'll pay me later. Somebody says, Foster, I'm hearing recently that over 300 individuals were on the list to see PJP at the office in his constituency, but only 75 came in and no help was given, not even a 25 cent they came out with. What a shame. SLP is really putting the people first. Somebody says Richard got caught because his hands was in the bottom cookie. Another says, what is the criteria to be with a minister? I need some checks. I don't think you need checks, huh? Another, somebody's responding.
Just know which bathroom you'll be visiting.
No, that's if you go into training school. Another says those checks would fix my business properly. Somebody says the criteria is open sesame. Now, the last time I heard that was... I read that in Alibaba and the 40 Thieves. But somebody called my show recently and said it's... I don't want to lie. Oh my God, I forgot. The person said... you know what? I don't want to say the wrong thing. So when I remember...
Yes, yeah.
Somebody says, yes, there were so many people at that place. A lady said that Masha has so many communities. Somebody says, Angie and Foster, what are we wearing on Thursday to attend the event at Castries Market Steps? Oh, by the way, I have an announcement to make. Guys, I might not be here tomorrow. As that person said, Thursday, I remember. Tomorrow I have to make an appearance. And hopefully... this is the final appearance before we go to report to the court.
So I suspect the next time I see you, you'll have a big grin on your face.
I hope I do. I hope I do end up being a SSDF casualty. I hear SSDF do have checks. SSDF checkbook finish.
But it's nice, and
I'm hoping that this is coming to an end.
I want to commend you for keeping the faith and for doing exactly what you said you would do.
Yeah.
From the commencement of that matter. There were a lot of naysayers, people who talk a lot of nonsense as usual.
Yeah.
But, vengeance is mine, according to the good book said that.
Yeah.
You did what you had to do, and hopefully it will end well.
Yeah, yeah.
So I encourage, somebody asked a question today, and I figure I can, to end the show, I can say that I can repeat that. I want to ask the authorities in St. Lucia, what should a woman really do if she has a complaint against a man in St. Lucia? Whether it be of a sexual nature, physical nature, what is the system requiring from a woman in particular? Because it looks like if a woman makes a complaint, it's rubbish, it's just nothing. What is it? Have the laws changed? Because I cannot understand a police officer would make a report of rape and it's not rape. And the police is trained to know the definition of rape, like the back of their hands, of like the palm. And a police officer will misquote what is rape. Or a woman would go to the police and say she's raped, and all of a sudden she's not raped, and there is no case.
Listen,
What should the woman do?
people treat you. I had an experience years ago, and
Yes,
I
yeah.
have to say I did not at the time trust the police, but since then I've met police officers like yourself, like Cameron Law, like a number of others who've given me a bit of faith in the police force. I, in my younger years, was in an unfortunate situation, a domestic situation, and because I know myself, and I know I have a tendency to fall back on my Carib background when I am provoked. I decided I would
Carib,
go.
you have Carib
Oh
blood?
yes, I have Carib in me. You see
dear.
that little curl behind my ears that refuse to lie down? That's the Caribbean sisters. They're always fighting with the black. So, yeah, that it just refused to behave itself. It always in a problem. So I said to myself, before I know myself and before I commit myself, I'm going to go to the police as an effort to keep the peace. So I went and I made a report, and a female police officer was the one at the desk when I got there at CID. And this woman said to me, and I quote, "Me, I'm not getting involved in your domestic things because you're making people come and want your men, and 2 days later you're back with the men." I asked the police to come and issue a warning to this individual because I know myself. And do you know, that police officer, I was so upset that I walked out of the station. And the next time this person provoked me, they ended up provoking me right in front of CID. And when I was about to retaliate, a male police officer, could you imagine, eh? I was on my way back to the police station to make another report. And a male police officer, because this person decided that since they realized I was going into the station, they were trying to stop me from going there. And as I was about to retaliate, a male police officer walks up behind me, grabs my hand, and says, "I'm arresting you," and took me into the station. Now, if that female police officer had come and given that warning when I first went in, realizing that this situation might be a bit far out of my control, would I have gotten myself in the situation for a male police officer to catch me about to retaliate? You understand? But I was able to talk my way out of it. I was able to explain myself to the police officers, and they finally dealt with the situation, and I got the outcome that I was looking for all along, because I wanted this person to understand that the Carib blood is strong in me, you know.
But Angie,
But they were able to issue a warning, and it didn't escalate further. I was able to get this thing sorted out.
Angie,
Sometimes, Foster, the police make the situations worse, you know.
I have suggested that those complaints we are hearing, that certain persons are threatening people are receiving threatening telephone calls, and so on. The police must keep their eyes open. The police must not go to sleep on that investigation, because things are in St. Lucia. When you see you've allowed something to go 1 inch, give it 1 inch,
20 miles.
And I can recall that sad voice message from Joy. Well, if you kill me, let me enjoy myself before you kill me.
Yeah.
Boy, that is a hell of a statement.
Yeah.
That girl knows she would have died.
Yep, she knew it.
Can you believe that, Gassa? And to date, we have not heard anything about anybody coming or want to find out what happened in that matter.
This girl accepted her death because Did you? That was the last part of the voice message, but there
Yeah.
was a part earlier where the guy was saying, "I hope you will not keep me away from my daughter." And he said, and she said, "But how will I keep you away from her if I'm dead?"
Yes.
So it's like she accepted, and the way he said it so
So
casually,
casually.
that's what
the
stuck
man-
with me. This guy said to this girl, point blank, he said to her, "I didn't marry you for us to be apart." She said, "It is over. It is done. I want nothing to do with you." Everything she kept emphasizing, "We're done. It's over." And then he said to her, as if he was saying, "Good morning, or I'll see you later. Gassa, I trying to talk to you. You don't want to you don't want to compromise? Well, Gassa, you see you, I going to kill you." What? As if he was telling her about the
That
weather.
was cold, man. That was
Yeah.
cold, ice cold.
He said that to her, "I'm going to kill you." And then he said to her, "You don't believe me, eh?
Yeah, he said that.
You don't believe
You
me,
don't
but I
believe me?
am going to kill you. You will." And he said, "You will not see our daughter grow up." As if he was talking about the weather.
Yeah. And then she said, well, before you kill me,
Let me,
enjoy myself.
yeah.
Boy, that is something else. And let me tell you something.
It's like she accepted. Somebody told me that when they were in the UK, if this man, when this girl was pregnant, if this man was leaving the house, he would lock her in a suitcase. Could you imagine
what?
that? Lock her in a suitcase. Put her in a
What does that
suitcase. Put her in an actual suitcase, like you're putting clothes in a suitcase, and zip it and lock it.
How is that possible?
It's possible. You know the amount of people. There was a slave who escaped slavery by shipping himself in a box to another state.
Let me tell you, and that's not a laughing matter.
No,
I'm sorry about that.
it's
but
not.
I'm telling you, we have to be real. We have to get real in this country.
So this girl was terrified. This girl was terrified of this guy. And people, let me tell you something. I know the hot button issue right now is Richard Frederick and the SSDF, and it deserves our attention. But do me a favor, St. Lucia, when we're done dealing with this situation, please let us not forget Joy.
Yeah.
I'm saying this and I'm feeling this in my heart. Please, let us not forget Joy. Let this situation never happen to another. This girl was in her early 20s, Foster. I have a daughter close to that age. You have daughters close to that age. Foster, could you imagine?
My daughter went to a funeral. My daughter knows her very well.
Could you imagine, Foster, you getting a call from your child and your child is describing this kind of horror to you?
And Jay, I don't want to think about that because I tell you, you see a beast, you see King Kong is bad yet.
Yeah, my grandmother had a saying.
King Kong ripping off trees, you know. from the ground.
My grandmother had a saying, Foster. My Carib grandmother had a saying. And she would say, when you get angry, she would say that to me, that when I get angry, I transform from man to beast.
Yes.
I think I would transform truly from man to beast. I saw a minister transform like he was Optimus Prime. From ragamuffin to gentleman in 3 seconds flat when he noticed that somebody else was noticing his behavior. But that's not the transformation I would do. If I get a call that my child
Angie, better we do
was going through that.
Let me tell you that so many people will join you in that fight that the whole country will be like, just like, you see, there'll be so much tension in St. Lucia. I better don't even want to think of that.
No, I'm saying we need to
Because
take care.
King Kong ain't bad yet. You saw the King Kong movie?
I've seen it. I saw it.
When you say you get King Kong vexed, you see how King Kong freeing people, and you just see them in the sky and just disappearing.
Foster, too many things are happening in St. Lucia.
Yeah.
And a lot of those things are happening with women.
Boy, let me
A
tell
lot
you.
of these things are happening with women. And you know who the biggest, not accomplice, huh? I don't want to use the word accomplice. Enablers are women.
Mhm.
Because I heard something, and I don't even want to believe it. I heard that the women in parliament voted to keep Richard Frederick in the ministry, to keep him in cabinet. I don't want to believe that. I don't want to believe that.
Believe it. And I think if they take a vote, the majority will vote yes. And I doubt any one of them will vote no. Let me tell you, we have not understood the kind of government we have, you know. I don't think St. Lucians have understood those men who are in government yet. And if you watch the Prime Minister's demeanor, it can tell you where that party and where that government is heading. But we'll either not have a country just now, or all of us will get like them. Is either we all perish, or we get back to the Christian nation that they say we were. Angie, I think we have done a double overtime.
Yes, we have. We're
Yes,
way
so-
over our time. Guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Our numbers were through the roof. And I need to thank you guys for sharing the live and for joining us. Although we didn't get an opportunity to give too many of your comments airtime, and I always like to thing the comments, but guys, Foster says he has a personal mission to ensure that accountability is paramount on the list in St. Lucia. I think we should all join. I think we should all circle the wagons. I think we should all become a part of that movement. And I will do my best, because we're not letting this die. We're not letting this government, these people get away with taking our paradise away from us. St. Lucia has to become the paradise it used to be. We need to get back. Something's got to give, people. Something has got to give. Okay? So, everybody join the fight. If you're overseas, put up go on our Facebook page, and you're going to see a picture there that says you attack one of us, you attack all of us. If you're overseas and you want to show solidarity, put that up on your status. If you're in St. Lucia and you have the time, write up your placard. Don't say anything, but go out there and show solidarity. They will attack you. They will say things about you. You know, if you want, put on your mask so nobody sees who you are. But stand with your placard. Okay? Because justice needs to be done. Enough is enough. And we cannot be the good men who sit idly by while evil flourishes in Fair Helen. Guys, thank you so much. Over to you, Foster.
Yeah, thanks everybody for your comments. I see the comments were very good tonight. I saw the discussion going on. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for sharing. I saw a lot of people on. Yeah. And it's one of the best shows that we have had. And let me tell you, based on what is in the forecast, weather forecast coming there, of that investigation, I suspect make sure you have seat belts, you have rope, you have cement rope to tie yourself in your car seat, because things are going to get hot in the next few days.
And guys, once again, don't forget that tomorrow I might not be able to be here for Hard Talk, I should say I'll be late for the program for Hard Talk because I have to make an appearance. Thank you guys for your continued support. All of you who messaged me and kept asking how's the case going, how's everything, stay strong. I really appreciate you guys. You guys were there. I knew I wasn't going to back down. A lot of people said, oh, this is not going to go anywhere. They're going to buy her off. One person said she'll never see a day in court. Some people thought the police would tank the case, but I always had faith. And right now, I'm hopeful that it is going to come to a conclusion and I can finally get my life back. So thank you guys for your continued support. Thank you for standing with me. So tomorrow I'm going to be a little late. You already know why. Stay tuned in and we'll have more updates for you guys as soon as they are available. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, what a wonderful